There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharply to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
Good evening, Reds, and welcome to Jarvis's Corner on MUFC and Tactical Corner. Tactical Devils.
Tactical Devils.
Yeah.
Tactical Corners are quite cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys don't know, I've started my own channel now, so we are co-streaming, so we are live on both channels. But stay where you are. But if you like, jump over to Tactical Devils and smash the like. So.
Oh, please, yes.
We won against Manchester City, 2-1. Who would have thought? Pep is in the mud, and Amorim is flying high. So, how are you doing, Stu?
Yeah, not too bad. I've had a strange old weekend. Really, we had a late kickoff yesterday, so I didn't see the game. I had to catch up on it last night, but I got hauled off after 65 minutes yesterday.
Okay.
I had a right tantrum. I wasn't happy. It was like I was 5 again. What do you fucking take me off for? I had a right tantrum. You don't take the skipper off without reason.
Yeah.
Yes, showered early and I wasn't. I didn't cover myself in glory yesterday, Jarvis. Let's put it that way. And to be honest, I've caught this damn flu that's going around in the UK at the minute. So I'm not a happy camper. But apart from that, all good. All good.
Is it the famous man flu?
Yes, I did. Yes. Well, we've got some kind of nasty strain of flu going around, so it's not ideal. I did, yeah. Naz said, did you get to see Cunha rip the glasses off the Ipswich steward? Yeah, that happened right in front of me. I took my nephew to Wolves on Saturday afternoon, so yeah, that happened right in front of me. So yeah, apart from that, all good, pal. So I'm going to try and get through it.
Yeah.
Apologies if I'm not quite with it, but I'm going to try and get.
You sound rugged, like roughneck.
Yeah, hard as nails.
Yeah, suits you.
Hard as nails. But what a result yesterday, eh? What a result.
Yes.
Although the game itself was low quality, wasn't it? It was quite interesting.
Yeah,
but quite tactical. Quite tactical, I think.
The game was really tactical, I have to say. But they both managed to set up their team and try to take advantage of weaknesses. We could clearly see Pep trying to isolate. What's it that wingers?
You are sorry, Doku.
Yeah. Try to isolate Doku one against Masraoui, and I think he had like 12 or was it 50? A lot of dribble attempts, but he only succeeded 4. So in a way, I think Masraoui did well, but that's the tactic: overload one side, get Duco on the other side, 1 against 1, and trust his dribbling skills. But I think Masraoui, is quite a specimen. He's fantastic as a footballer. I think he must be the signing of the season for me so far, at least.
Yeah, 100%. He's got to be. He's got to be one of our best signings in the last 6 years.
Yeah, I think so. He's been massive.
He to come to a club and not let it phase you, not let it bother you. Just carry on. I don't know what the hell Bayern Munich were thinking.
Yeah.
I'm in a bit of a loss for that, but it's definitely our gain. So I'm quite. Mazzari yesterday was great, but I think Doku is one of those players that is underlining the problems that City have got right now.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were talking about Pep, and we were talking about Man United players, not wanting to play football for Ten Hag, etc. And yet, that wasn't the case with City. We weren't saying that. We were saying that the quality of their squad is not up to standard, and Guardiola just doesn't know what to do with that squad. It's very, very strange to see City where they are, but I actually think it says more about Guardiola than it does about the players, because everybody says there's this messiah, and we always wondered what would happen if he was given a substandard squad, what he could do. And now we know, because he's got real problems, and I don't see light at the end of the tunnel for City, to be honest. I mean, if they don't win, is it Tuesday or Wednesday, they might only qualify for the Champions League knockout phase. So, we've got Tottenham, haven't we, Thursday?
We got Tottenham in the League Cup. Yes, I think we are playing away. We
got Tottenham.
Tottenham won 5-0 against Southampton the other day. I think it was yesterday. So yeah, they look good, but they have struggled a bit lately.
Yeah, but they're a funny one, Tottenham, aren't they? I mean, I don't know what he'll do with the team this week. I think you'll see Rashford back in the squad Thursday. Garnacho back in the squad Thursday.
Do you think so?
I think you'll see that. Yeah.
Haven't you read the news today about Rashford?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've listened to what Amorim said. I've seen and read the news.
The rumors came out today that he's finished at the club.
They
want to sell him.
Yeah, those are the
January
rumors.
already.
Yeah. I think I think he'll be in the squad Thursday. Whether he starts, I don't know, but I think he'll be in the squad Thursday. I mean, Amorim did come out and say it wasn't disciplinary.
No, he said so. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he said it was potentially the way that they're conducting himself. Garnacho, the way he conducted himself around Carrington, around staff members, etc. And I think he's kind of looking at, maybe at this point in time, they're not ideal for what he needs and what he wants. So, but I think he's going to have to utilise them. If United want to get any kind of money for Rashford, excuse me, in January.
We had there were rumours. Did you read the article from James Ducker, Telegraph?
I didn't read that. Is this the one where
he's not too bad when it comes to
is this the one where
it's not the sun?
Garnacho was leaking, or was that the article?
No. It's about Rashford. We said that Rashford, there was talks about Rashford not being. He didn't listen, didn't take advice. He was very stubborn. He was immature. There was a lot of, I would say, degrading things on his character in a way. So
really, okay,
yeah. And if it was the Sun, I would be, but I think the Telegraph are not the worst when it comes to credibility. But these journalists, they have their way, and we know that Rashford are in. They like to make noise around Man United.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Manchester United always has been, always will be front page news. Anything can happen in the world, and there'll be a column somewhere of Manchester United in the same paper.
Yeah,
and normally it's front page news or back page news. Manchester United very rarely fill column inches, and it doesn't matter what that story is. Manchester United always good news. We have said for a while, though, haven't we? We've got to be careful on what we're saying.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. I think I struck my teeth somewhere.
Okay, take 2 minutes, and I will say hello to the chat. We have a lot of good people who's always following us and watching the show. We have Lillis in the house, and he comes in and say hit the likes, and if you have time, I will be here. I think this is before the show started. Yeah, it's 1 hour ago. Lucky Singh, everybody's up for sale. We got Bournemouth to get ready Wednesday. Okay, I think that's Saturday, but MUFC
20
tweet.
seconds. Yeah, 20 seconds.
Yeah. So this is me saying from the Tactical Devils. If you have the time, jump over to Tactical Devils and smash the like and subscribe and come back here again and watch the show. That's okay. Neil Driscoll, big up. He say Walker, what a prat, trying to other players sent off. What if it was a Man United player or player other club? Yeah, I agree.
Embarrassing.
So, but it's embarrassing. It's just, I don't know. Well, imagine Stu being in that situation. You know, how would you react it if you were Højlund?
If I was Højlund, I mean,
you just burst out laughing, or
yeah, I would have actually. I mean, actually, when you look at what happened, the initial foul really on Højlund wasn't too bad. I thought
Højlund checked him.
He overreacted a bit.
Run. Yeah.
And normally when two players go in like that with a head, somebody will make a move and they'll push the other head. But that was embarrassing. I'd have just cried laughing at him, really. I mean, to go down like that, hold your face and start rolling around. I mean, it's absolutely pathetic. There's been some great memes that I've seen tonight going around where Walker's in a hospital bed. He survived the night, that type of thing. It was touch and go at times, but he survived the night. So I just think, honestly, I'd have pissed myself laughing. I mean, Walker, I think this morning, when he would have looked at seeing what he'd done, I think he would have. Højlund, to be fair, needs to be locked up for that vicious assault on him, doesn't he? It's embarrassing. Isn't it?
I liked his tweet. He said, "Manchester is red, violets are blue. What a brilliant performance!" But the Oscar
goes to he did that, didn't he? He tweeted that. Yeah. I mean,
that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah. I think if you're, they've got bigger problems, haven't they, City? But it was embarrassing.
It was. But we can go back and have a look at that situation. From the beginning. I took some pictures during the game yesterday. So the quality is not superb, but it's my TV, so it is what it is. So here you see the pass goes from behind over deep into City's defense, and Højlund is actually making a run this way. Trying to I don't know, angle himself, and you see next he body checks him, and Højlund drops over, and it's a clear free kick. So there was no doubt about it, and you see the referee sees it all, and he has no problem giving the free kick.
Yeah, the first thing about that though is go back to the original picture.
Yeah.
What on earth did he need to body check him for? There's 5 players plus Walker in and around Højlund's vicinity. So that's the first thing I would be asking. City is set up quite well defensively then, when you actually look at it. The ball into Højlund wasn't great for a start.
Oh.
For him to be able to do anything or try and make any kind of move was always going to be difficult because you're moving into a congested area.
The ball is up here. That's high up in here.
Yeah, you're into a congested area anyway. I actually, Højlund's taken the right route to goal because that's where we need him. But it was a bit of a meaningless attack anyway. If you look at everything, look at the way we're set up, look at the way that our players are, look where the ball is. It was a bit of a meaningless attack. I just thought it was quite. I thought it was quite interesting, actually.
Yeah. So now the incident happened, and we got the what do you call it? This
melee.
Yeah,
we got a melee, yeah.
And we got this one, and you know they going head to head, and as a player it sometimes happens. It's just the way it is. And then
look at the blood. Look at the claret on Walker's face there.
Yeah,
absolutely dripping with blood, dripping with claret.
And that's another angle, yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at I love Højlund's face at this moment. You know, you can see.
Yeah, that's intense. That's massively intense. Yeah, that was. That's the biggest stag out the two for sure. Walker looks scared. Walker does, if you look at him. Yeah. His facial expression, he looks scared. Whereas Højlund looks dangerous. That's actually my type of facial expression. He looks dangerous. He looks ready to go. He looks angry. He looks,
And here he drops down, and Højlund. I don't know. I think Højlund was in shock in a way. How on earth could he expected that from Walker dropping down? You know, it's not the Spanish league or Italian league. It's a Premier League. You're not used to this. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. I mean, you know, you don't condone violence at all on a football pitch. You condone shithousery on a football pitch, and that trying to get somebody sent off is just unacceptable. Really, should go yellow card.
Yeah, I agree. But it was an interesting, you know, as a fan, it makes it interesting, makes it a little bit more exciting. So
yeah, it does. I mean, the game was flat.
Show, at least.
Yeah, the game was flat at that point. Anyway, I mean, it wasn't what you would call a particularly riveting match, as you quite rightly say. It was slow because it was tactically slow. So that Guardiola and Amorim both made moves to try and shut each other down. You're absolutely right about City using the wings as their focal point. But really, you know, you could try 50, 60, 70 dribbles in a game, but if you don't go anywhere with that dribble, then you know you're wasting play. And I think one of the things that I noticed about City yesterday, we didn't do so much was waste our play. Our ball time, we still did the usual milling around at the back between Maguire, between De Ligt and Martinez, but our dead air play I didn't think was anywhere near as much as it's been in the past. So basically we were trying to be proactive with the ball yesterday, that I noticed this morning.
Yeah.
Whereas City, I didn't think were as proactive as you would expect City to be. De Bruyne looks 10 yards off the pace, doesn't he? Hasn't got that.
Yeah.
Hasn't got that pass.
De Bruyne is starting to be. He's been a lot injured, and he's that age now. I don't think he's at his top level. You know, he's on the decline.
Yeah, hasn't got that killer pass. You got Nunes, poor player, can't quite get to grips with Manchester City. Haaland, and I'm on record 2 years ago saying that you buy a goal scorer, but you don't buy a footballer. When you buy Haaland, he is a goal scorer, natural goal scorer, but he's not a footballer.
Yeah,
he can't link the play, and that all played into our hands. To be honest, I think Amorim recognised that. Amorim recognised that Doku would try to be dangerous on the left, and Silva would try to be dangerous on the right. But Mazzari probably got to grips with him, as you quite rightly say, in the first 5 minutes. He only made 4 successful passes, but he did 0 with those 4 successful.
I think he had 11 attempts and 4 of them successful. So,
but what do you class as successful? He got round him and got a pass off, you know, and that I thought was quite interesting. Whereas ourselves, I thought we controlled the play when we had the ball. I thought our use of the ball was pretty good. But I didn't think our speed was good. But as you quite rightly say, I think tactically, Amorim didn't want a quick game. He didn't want a fast game yesterday. I think tactically needed a slow game to enable us to have better possession. I think it kind of worked in our favour.
Let's bring up the good old tactical board. And from what I could see, City, they actually set up in a in a 3-2-4-1 formation in a way.
Yeah,
but
agree with that.
Doku was the only one keeping the width, and you talk about Nunes. He operated as a left back, but it was interesting because you would suspect that he would drop in and be the double pivot with Gundogan, but he wasn't. It was most of the time Foden dropped down, and Nunes had like a free role roaming around in this area. And that was what they were trying to do, because they wanted Nunes to bring the ball to Doku so he could go 1-against-1 on Mazraoui.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So that was the outlet. It was a little bit difficult for AMAD and Kobe Mainu to get or Mason Mount in the beginning to really figure out what was going on with Nunes. So it was quite clever from Pep, I would say.
It was clever, but when you're Nunes, you've got to be a caliber of player to be able to adapt to that system. Nunes is a midfielder stroke.
He's the right footer on the left back.
Yeah,
he's the right problems we know all about.
So wouldn't you question, and it's just a question, wouldn't you question his faith then in young Pusey to not pop him in at left back? Maybe he's a natural born defender, and maybe not have Doku and maybe play Nunes. See, Doku doesn't offer I don't think he offers. What I'm going to say now is a bit weird, because he does penetrate really well. We know that because he attacks, but he's not successful in his attacking. His ball retention is very good, but his ability to then use the ball is quite poor. Whereas I think Nunes is a slightly more accomplished player. But play Nunes in it. I mean, don't forget he found himself at right back. Nunes with the penalty, didn't he?
But this is interesting. This is Nunes' heat map, and the big green is on their attacking side, and the small green is the defensive side. So you see where he operates. As I said, he didn't roam in the double pivot with Gundogan because Foden dropped down, and he could operate like a free man on the left and help out with Doku. So I found that quite interesting. But we have our Superman playing on the right, and that was Mazraoui. So he did brilliant, I must say. But also the defense, because what he do, Amorim, when we set up this team it's let's go back to the tactical board. It's easier for me to explain. But what we actually do is we have a almost like a diamond with the 4 players on the side. So if you see here, it's almost like a diamond of these, and you always create an overload with these players on the side. It's hard for Manchester City to come into the game. They have Doku here, they have Nunes here, Foden might come in, help, and maybe they have to chuck out the Guardiola. But when you play with the back 3, you got to be careful. That's the thing.
Well, you've got to be able to. You've got to be able to play with the back 3. And one of the issues that when I mentioned it in the summer, I think we'll go to a back 3. You kind of understood my reasons for it, but you've got to be able to play in a back 3. You've got to be able to use defenders that played in a back 3 before and understand the system. And this is where Maguire will really show his strengths, Jarvis. Maguire is perfect for a back 3. He's perfect for it.
I agree. He's perfect. He's perfect. I totally agree, but I didn't get it at the moment you said it, Stu. Because you actually mentioned this a long time ago on All for United, and I was in the chats saying, "What are you on?" That this you're totally wrong.
You were.
Yeah. But I was wrong. I have to admit it.
No, it's fine. I wasn't meaning that. What I was saying is that.
And now we have Maldini.
Yes, we do.
Is it Nestor Maldini?
We do. His sweeping play yesterday was absolutely superb, wasn't it? And my question is to anyone in the chat: did anyone see Haaland?
No.
Did anyone see Haaland yesterday? He was brilliant against him. De Ligt looks a lot happier on the right side of that 3. Martinez looks good. We've got Yoro to come in as well. We've got a brilliant set of defenders now. that know the system. And people, Harry Maguire, what a turnaround, that the guy's made. And Amorim, one of the things I've been really impressed with Amorim is he plays to position, not the player. So he'll look at it and say, right, this is what I want to do. He was indeed Rushmano. He was indeed in Slammy's bucket. He looks at around. There's no square pegs around holes anymore. He plays players in position. And yesterday, I thought for the first time, and I don't like a 3-4-3, Jarvis, because I don't think the balance is good enough. Our balance on the back three was right. It was absolutely right. Now, Mick's mentions, very, very astute here by Mick. He mentioned that the match was like a game of chess.
Yeah.
And he was waiting for Guardiola to make the move first. Once Guardiola made those subs, we then made our subs. We brought in Xerxes, who I thought was excellent. Xerxes again. I thought he was absolutely superb when he came on. You could say it's a cameo, you know, whichever. I thought it was brilliant. What he did, Xerxes, totally released AMAD. Since 60. Trev, don't make me cough, mate. Totally released AMAD. When Xerxes came on, AMAD really came alive.
He did.
He got that space. He got a big, strong player in and around him, and he got that space, and he was able to be the AMAD that we really needed in that game. And AMAD became overnight a technical genius. When you look at his play, when you look at his ability, and Gary Neville picked up it straight away with the penalty. He knew. He stopped outside the box, saw where Nunes was coming, and then moved into the box at the right time for Nunes to clatter him.
Yeah.
You don't get that. That doesn't happen in football. It doesn't happen in Rashford's eyes. It doesn't happen in Garnacho's eyes. That is something I've never seen. Someone with an ability to stop, quick look, calculate, move in, penalty. It wasn't even textbook. Jarvis, because you don't write that. You don't teach that. You can't teach that to anybody. There's not a coach on the land that in the world that was that. Nobody. It was absolutely brilliant, and to then get the penalty, and then we calmed down again. We didn't rush. If you noticed our play with Martinez, when he put the ball across the 30-yard ball, we weren't rushing. We took our time. We had the ball. We took our time.
Very good observation there, Stu. But the thing is, I think Amorim is actually drilling the guys now, and is very clear in what he wants, and we can see this. I just want to bring this up from John Johnson coming in, and they say Maguire not being first choice coupled with less pressure has improved his form, and if he stays, he needs to be fourth or fifth choice. Actually, I think Maguire now is one of the main guy. I think he is in our best starting 11 at the moment. I think he surpassed Lenny Yoro at the moment.
But Yoro's young. He's 18.
Yeah, that's the thing. And this is what I would like. I don't like the pressure on Yoro. He's young. Now he has time to adapt. There's no pressure, and he can come into this squad when he's ready. Not forced to perform right away, because as a young player you never know, and it will vary how good you will be each game, and that this is how it is to be young. You are inconsistent.
And don't forget, Charles, he's been injured all season, Yoro.
Yeah.
Just take your time. And you pointed out he came in for his first start a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who it was against, and he understood what the Premier League was about. It's a bit too tough for him at that time. It was a good solid. I think it was Forest, wasn't it? Chris Wood gave him a bit of a knock in.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Johnny Case says there was a rumor that Maguire has had the positive contract talks.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I would say I asked this question on Jarvis's Corner a couple of weeks ago. Who would you keep of Lindelof, Evans, and Maguire? if we should keep one, because they're all out of contract at the end of the season. And I think the majority of the panel and the chat said Harry Maguire, and I think that it's deserved, because I like his attitude. He was the most hated man in Manchester just a couple of years ago, and it was almost bullied out of Manchester, and we all did it. We all hated on him because his performances was below par, if you can say the least. And he made so many mistakes, and he looked totally off. But he had the right attitude, and I even slandered him because he didn't want to go to West Ham, just stay for the wages and all of this. But he actually fought back, and he proved me wrong. So I got to give it to him.
Yeah, no, he has. He's turned into. I think we're seeing his best form for the club right now. Yeah. He was immense yesterday.
And this is a good point. Not being the captain, has he improved his form? I think the pressure is off.
Yeah,
role, I think it was too much with the captaincy.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. We've got to talk about Anthony.
Yes.
Let's talk about Anthony.
Yes. Can I show you some footage first? I showed it to all the guys on Tactical Devils yesterday, but this is what I liked with AMAD and.
We've seen something with Anthony, aren't we?
No, Anthony. I was talking about AMAD. I mixed those two guys.
We're seeing. Am I right? I think we're seeing something in Anthony at the minute.
Yes, I think his timing is perfect when you play with players like AMAD, because they have almost a telepathic connection. They know how to play ball, because both of them like to hold on to the ball. They don't like to play 1-2s all the time. They want to run with the ball, hold on to it, shield the ball a little bit, and wait until the other one comes into position, then play the ball, and you have time, and then go into another new position. So it's very intricate, but it's actually working.
I've still got some criticisms with Anthony. He doesn't attack with any real purpose for me, but he works in this system.
Yeah,
Jamie Wayne's right. Jamie's right. He works in this system. But I think we should talk about him and give the guy a bit of credit.
Who was it who said it first? Was it Mark Nurse? Came with the suggestion we should use Anthony as left back last season.
Oh, I think we all come to that conclusion in a show. The three of us, me, you, and Mark, we all come to that conclusion in a show. Yeah, and we got ridiculed for it. But
we say Rushmano says Anthony has a habit of slowing down the play under Amorim. He can't do that.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, you see that's what I was getting at. But I've seen him. He's still not as quick as I'd like him to be. Still doesn't attack with the purpose I'd like him to. There's a couple of times yesterday when he was faced up. Are we on 130 subs? Are we?
Yeah. We started Wednesday night. 130 subs.
Wow, good. Brilliant. Bombay's in the. He's here. What was I going to say? I lost my school of thought then. I didn't realise.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Slowing down the play.
When he's faced up, he'll always come back on his left peg. He's got to start doing something with his right. But you're absolutely right, guys. Under Amorim, he's got to be quicker. He can't second guess himself anymore. He's got to be a lot sharper with that.
Yeah. John Simlock comes in and say the combination play with AMAD is insane and something really good to build up on. So he still needs to adjust his play and manage the system. So, but he is resilient. Yeah, and I believe that last sentence he's resilient. I think Anthony has set his mind on coming back into this team.
I think he has
the drive. For me, it feels like we haven't heard anything. No pissing, no whining. Just showing up on training, doing his best to get back into the team, because he knows he's out in the cold. He wasn't even in the squad sometimes on the Ten Hag in the last couple of games. He was totally off, and now he's got a second chance to get back.
He's showing something, isn't he? We always knew he was a talented footballer.
Yeah, but this is the mentality I like from the Man United players. I have to give it to Maguire and Anthony and players like them. They have the right mentality. It's so important in the modern game.
No, it is. Look, there are players that we've all got on the backs of, and they're showing something. They're showing their ability now. They're showing that will and that want. So it's pretty good. Dialo was pretty poor though yesterday. Don't think Dialo had his best game again.
Yeah, I think Manchester City, they played with Walker pretty narrow, so there was a lot of space. And when Manchester City moved their team, because they played with the high line, so they were really compact all the time. And because we like to take our time on one side, drag the team over, and you could see us shifting play over to the other side time after time. And for example, Mainu had a brilliant pass to Dialo. But the problem with Dialo is he has the right foot on the left side. So we always had to take an extra touch. And that extra touch is just the amount of time Walker needed to be in position and get into pressure.
Yeah,
so we struggle just because of it's not his role, He's not a
no. We need a balance left. We need a balance left. I don't think Malacy is the answer at this point in time. He may well be in 3 years' time. I don't know, but he's not the answer. I think come January, we'll go into the market and we'll get a specialised left-sided player. I'll tell you who would.
Yeah, but you saw this Paraguayan guy, Leon.
Oh, he's a phenomenal player. We're not getting him now till June, are we?
Wow.
Yeah, June, July, something like that.
He looks like a massive specimen, like 16, 17 years old. He looks like he's 35 in his body.
He's Rooney-esque, isn't he? Yeah, he's Rooney-esque. Yeah, he's Rooney-esque. Anyway, Bombayé's in the. We should bring him in.
Ooh, we have Bombayé in the house.
Yes.
Big up, Bombayé.
Big up.
Are you here, bro? Nah, well. He might join us afterwards.
Yeah, he might join us.
Say hi when you.
Good evening. Good evening. Sorry.
There he is.
I was chatting and I'm thinking, what's going on? I've got the headset on, but I hadn't pressed unmute. Apologies. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, guys. I've just been listening to you chat about Anthony. I concur. I've always had a soft spot, Jarvis will tell you, for Anthony. And left-sided up and down guy. That's the equivalent of where Dialo or Mazraoui have been playing, right? Not one of the centre backs, the actual left side. Yeah, I agree with you as well. He just keeps getting injured. One of the guys I'm most excited about, Mason Mount, just keeps getting injured. I just really, really like that player. I think he's got such a huge part to play in this team. And I was saying I would try him there.
Okay. As the wing back.
Yeah, interesting. Do we know what his injury is?
I don't know.
No, they've not come out and said, have they?
No, I really liked the way, I don't know if you noticed when he was injured, the way he was geeing up the guys as he was leaving the pitch. I don't know if you noticed that. He was saying, come on, we can do this. He's a selfless person. He's the kind of person that I would like as a teammate.
Yeah.
This is what I really like. And if you heard Amorim speak about him as well, I don't know if you heard him. He said, this is the kind of player that this team needs. He's a really important player for us and the kind of player that I like.
Yeah, he speaks very highly of him, doesn't he?
Yeah, so I really, desperate for him to have a run of games just to really showcase what he can do.
Yeah,
it's true. And but the thing with Mason Mount is we all played football. I know you, Bombayé, played for a lot of years. You were more of a creative striker type of player, I believe.
Attacking midfielder,
yeah.
Started as a left back.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Always start as a left back.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't know where to play, or I didn't have a position. And then I just started at left back in last year of primary school. Mr. Bond, he said to me, "That's where you're going to play." Yeah, I loved it, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. But I was saying when it comes, we all play the game, and I believe Mason Mount's problem is his hamstring. Because we all had a hamstring injury, you feel it when you sprint, and you have to be off football for at least 4 to 6 weeks. But after 2 weeks, you feel fine, and this is the problem with hamstring injuries. You feel fine, and you start a little bit, and in training it's okay because you don't do 100% full sprint. But as soon as you go back to the game, the whistle goes, first sprint, you feel it.
Yeah,
And then you're done. And you're back 4 to 6 weeks. And the thing
need
is,
8 weeks with a hamstring.
Yeah, maybe 8 weeks, but you never recover fully, and that's the problem. And after a while, it starts to get in your head. It starts to get physical, psychological, because you don't have the guts to sprint anymore because you feel that it will come back. That's the thing.
I did my quad 3 seasons ago. And I was out for 12 weeks on my quad, and my quad's never been the same since. I mean, I got really lucky. When you tear your quad or any kind of muscle, if the fibers don't attach together properly, you get a lot of gristle in there, and you get a lot of like kind of little balls in there, or sometimes even a divot and a dip in your muscle. And I got really lucky that my fibers reattached.
Yeah.
But I had 12 weeks worth of physio on it, and even now I can be sitting down or just chilling out, and my leg, my quad will cramp up. You can literally see the fibers doing that in your leg, and it's really bad. Yeah. And for a while, I wouldn't put a full sprint in because I was panicking. Scared that it would go.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It gets into your head.
But I've never had hamstring issues. I've always been, for some reason, lucky with hamstring issues. Calf issues I've been okay with. I've been quite lucky with those. But my quad, even now, 3 years down the line, it still tenses up, and that can be any time. Really strange. Really strange.
Nash comes in and say, how bad is this club that we keep letting players come back early? Shut him down for the rest of the season. What do you think? Is that the only solution when it comes to Mason Mount? Because I feel now we are in a bad circle. He comes back and gets injured. So we constantly need to go through this cycle.
I don't know. I did my hamstring for the first time ever 2 years ago. I've been really lucky, and never had any major injuries that kept me out. But I went in for a challenge that I'd describe as a dark yellow. Not like me, but I went for it. Overstretched, and it just totally went. Tried to come back after 2 weeks. I'd never done this injury. No way. Forget it. Tried to come back after 4 weeks. No. Forget it, because I was coming back early. I was pushing myself back. I didn't know. I'm not the kind, like most of us. I won't go to the doctors unless I'm on the edge of death. That's the type I am. So this thing took properly to just leave me alone, and I'm back to my natural game. No messing about. So like 8-9 weeks.
Okay.
8-9 weeks, and obviously I had the 4 and the 2 before that. I think. Messed it up a little bit, because you come back early, you do it again, it's no good. But I don't know what his injury is, but it's a shame.
But 8 weeks, as you said, 8-9 weeks. So but and I think that's the problem for him. And Trevor comes in, and this is actually a good story. Giggs had a bad hamstring problem for years, and he started doing yoga. And he ended up playing until 40. So maybe Mason Mount has to look at other solutions, how to get him stay fit.
Do you know what? I used to laugh at yoga. I started playing squash to an intermediate level. And the saying in squash is, don't play squash to get fit to play squash.
Correct.
So I started to go with 2 of my very, very good childhood friends to yoga. And then I'd finish that and I'd go and play squash. I swear to God, you feel like you've got so much space inside your body to take a breath, and everything is just diaphragm almost, it expands. It's an amazing pre-match, high intensity thing to do. Stretching muscles you didn't know existed in your body before. Maybe because a lot of players do yoga these days.
I used to play badminton, like at an intermediate level. So it's almost like the same movements. You know, you stretch, you almost go in a split, and then you get to stretch your thighs really well, and both the front and the back, and your back and your shoulders and everything. So it's good to combine other sports with football, I believe so, and always been versatile when it comes to being athletic. You know, I went skiing, swimming, indoor hockey, badminton, football, you name it, all year round. So if you want to stay fit, be versatile. That's my tip for you young guys out there, most in the 30s and 40s. But we have some breaking news here from Rosmano. I just want to come in. He say Marcus Rashford has been put out for sale. Man United are ready to sell him in January. Ruben Amorim has decided he needs to leave. The feeling at the club is that Rashford's time is up.
Is that for real?
Yes. What's the source, Rosmano? Is it Fab? Well, I trust Rosmano. He's always reliable when it comes to this. He's not coming out with a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, he's quite good, isn't he, Rashmano?
Yeah,
very good. Yeah, very good.
So, what do you guys? What's your instant reaction? We
won't sell him. We won't sell him in January. He won't go in January. Nobody's going to fork out 40-50 million in January.
You think so?
No, nobody will. Yeah, summertime.
You think he'll go in the summer, Stu?
Yeah, in the summer. Yeah. You can't sell him in January. He won't go in January. But I think he'll go in the summer. Yeah. I think he needs to go for himself. Actually.
I heard a lot of rumors like Real Madrid was in for him. Arsenal needed a left winger.
PSG will be the only one, won't it?
Could you see him? Could you see him at Arsenal?
No, I couldn't. I mean, it'd be interesting, but I can't. I think I'm just going to afford him in January. I just don't see him. I don't see him going in January. It's a tough deal to do that, isn't it? It's a tough deal to make in the summer, but it's a tough deal to do in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the wage is a stickler. That'll kind of narrow things down. It's 300 Gs, and this year
we could do a loan with an obligation to buy in the summer.
I mean, the
you
club
often
for him,
see those kind of deals being done.
The club for him is straightforward. He is a Barcelona player all day long. He would fit that Barcelona system all day long. But bearing in mind, they might have to get rid of Olmo over the next few weeks because they can't afford, they've got massive problems. And that's the trouble for him and anyone else.
And he would fit perfectly into Amorim's system as one of the 10s.
Danny Olmo?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Jesus Christ.
You remember the Euros?
He's a brilliant player, Danny Olmo.
Yeah, brilliant player.
Yeah, brilliant player. But, Barcelona would be an ideal fit for Rashford.
Maybe we can do a swap deal.
Well, I mean, they've got problems with Olmo. If they, he is registered, isn't he? I mean, there was issues at Barcelona and Dani Olmo. I'm sure there was.
I don't know what's his wages. Let's see.
Dani Olmo.
Yeah,
well, they'll be low, man. We can afford
180K a week. Nothing.
That's nothing. Chicken feed.
For us, yeah. Why do you think it fit Barcelona, Stu? I'm interested.
Because I think he'd be a perfect foil for Mr. Lewandowski. I think Mr. Lewandowski would absolutely. Yeah, I think he would absolutely love him. I think pace as one of the on the left side for Barcelona. I think he'd be absolutely superb for them. And I think Lewandowski I think the problem with Rashford. So I need to explain myself. The problem for Rashford is he's never had a proper striker in and alongside him to really get the best out of him. So when Rashford was scoring his 30 goals a season, he attacked the diagonal brilliantly. So he'd come in on the left, into this right, attack the diagonal, penalty, or he'd get round the player and he'd score. But there's a bit more to Rashford's game. He's never been able to play 1-2 off a 9, or never to be able to take a little cushion header off a 9, getting behind the fullbacks off a pass off a 9. I think he'd be perfect fit for Lewandowski, and I think Rashford's goal output would double, just based on those two things.
What about the rest of the game? Off the ball, is he going to be asked to do any of that, do you reckon?
Well, that's the thing about Barcelona. It's they're sedate, aren't they? He can have a siesta for 70 minutes during that game, as long as he delivers 2 or 3 times. I think he can wander around. He can almost command that pitch alongside.
Who's the left winger at Barcelona? Is it Rafinha or he's on the right?
It's Rafinha, isn't it?
Oh, Rafinha is a much better player than Rashford. Rashford will be put on the bench.
I'm not so sure about Rafinha. I think he's a very, very good player. But I think Rashford's got a bit of a better all-round game than Rafinha.
Okay. John Johnson say he played intricate passes with Martial, and he was played with Harry Kane for England and was dreadful in general.
He was dreadful in general play, with Kane.
Yeah, and he comes in, and I believe this is not tactical enough for Barcelona.
Barcelona aren't there at the technical stage anymore. They were under, when Xavi and Iniesta was playing. Guardiola, but they're not that technical team anymore, Barcelona.
You forgot Busquets.
Busquets, sorry, yeah. They're more efficient. No, they're not technically enough. Yeah. But John's right. I understand his point, actually. It's a good point. But I think Barcelona aren't that technical team anymore, I don't think.
I want to run through some of the tactical things I saw from yesterday's game, and we can have a talk about the game. So let me just I went through it yesterday on the breakdown on tactical devils, but we can do it again here for a bigger crowd. So one of the things I saw in that game was our press play, and here you see Manchester City trying to build out from the back. I think it's Diaz here trying to play the ball up to Nunez, who were their left back or dropping down as their left back in the build-up play. You see we are pressing with AMAD and Højlund up front. But the thing is, we press with 4, maybe 5 guys most of the time up front. You see here these guys, but we also have Masraoui and Dialo on the other side, because one of the fullbacks dropped down on the side the ball is not on. So if they play on this side, Masraoui stays up, and then Dialo drops a little bit down, and on the other side, vice versa. But what we see here, it's so brilliant because players like Masraoui, they fully commit when they press, and it helps out tremendously. So here you see Manchester City playing the ball out to Nunez. Nunez takes his time on the ball. He's obviously right-footed, so the passing angles are not right. Masraoui is committing the press and forcing Manchester City playing the ball backwards again. So here you see AMAD. And this is what we talked about. The show is called AMAD's brilliant footballing IQ. How he presses the players. He angles his run when he presses and forces Manchester City to play the ball over to the other side, and then we lock them down on one side. So in the next picture, you see them playing the ball over to the other side. Here is the ball, and here is Kyle Walker. But the good thing is here we already see players like Bruno, Højlund, Kobe Mainu moving over to the other side and locking them down on one side and giving Kyle Walker very few options to play out. So the only option Walker can do is actually hoofing the ball long, because he's under instant pressure from Bruno. You see here Kevin De Bruyne dropping down, but I'm sure that Ugarte is behind him. So there's no options So they have to hoof the ball long, and this is what I saw yesterday. Our three central defenders, how much courage, how much guts they show, how aggressive they were, pushing forward, never afraid to close the gap. So Haaland, you see here, is Harry Maguire behind him, and fully committing in the duels and winning this duel. This is brilliant from Harry Maguire. You see him giving 100% in this duel. And this is what we lacked under Ten Hag, because the centre backs were too afraid, they were too defensive, so they were dropping back as soon as the long ball came, because they were afraid, because they had a lot of space in behind. But now we have shifted our mentality, and the three centre backs now fully commit, and this is what I would like to see more of. And the good thing is, when we win the ball now in this position, we have a lot of players up front here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Masraoui on the other side, and AMAD. So this is a great chance to transition and keep the pressure going. But it's mostly because the press play, how we were able to force them to play it long, and our centre backs, how they pressed. Did you see this, Stu, when you saw the game?
I did. Just before we do that, we need to shout out Fred the Red's channel. I didn't know he got a channel. So if you put in your in the VAR room what your channel is, Fred, we will promote your channel for you, mate.
Yeah.
We promote everybody's channel on this show. So put in your channel name, Fred, and we'll give you a shout out. I did actually. I was really impressed with our zonal pressing yesterday. One of the things about Amorim that I've noticed, he doesn't like full-on press. He likes zonal pressing. So even when you're... All the best, Trev. Crikey. Cheers, Trev. A good night's sleep, hopefully, will get me sorted, mate. He does zonal pressing very, very well, where players just move into an area or an area rather than full facial press. One of the things I was interested to see, can you put that back up? Those pictures.
Yeah. This is the beginning when they try to play out. Yeah.
One thing I was interested to see was our actual formation. Our 6 players there, not quite in a line, but as close to a line as you're going to get in terms of symmetrics.
Well, they talk about the pentagon shape.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
and it's always difficult. It's always difficult. It's always difficult to keep that shape because the game evolves quite a lot. But on this occasion, we got it right on. But the good thing about that type of pressing is you can kind of wander into a space. You don't have to run a full pelt.
It's not about man marking in a way.
Yeah, you can just wander into a space.
Dynamic.
Yeah. And that's what football's about. Football is about maximum effort, but keeping as much energy as you possibly can. One thing I've noticed with Amorim since he's been here, one thing I've noticed with the players since they've been here, their appreciation on how to read the game is a lot better than what it was under Ten Hag. Their use of the ball was more economical than what it was under Ten Hag. And I quite like this new way that we're approaching games. So, yeah, I was quite impressed with our pressing yesterday. But as I say, it was more of a zonal press rather than an in-your-face press.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like the press. So did you notice this Boumbaye during the game, the press play?
Yeah, I watched the game. I was watching some of the game for a second viewing earlier. And no, in the game, I didn't actually see that until you made the point yesterday. And now Stu made the really good point as well in terms of the reading of the game. And maybe that comes from the clarity of exactly what the players have been told to do. The shape looked excellent. And it seemed that we were efficient, effective. But again, like Stu said, you're not just going 500 miles an hour, killing yourself. And I was saying about 17 interceptions in the game is a lot, and that was down to the shape. But yeah, I thought the centre backs were tremendous. It was either Martinez or Maguire. De Bruyne didn't have the opportunity to turn a lot. Got away a few times, but in the main, he was shut down. He didn't have the opportunity to get.
Ugarte had full control. Yeah,
Ugarte, Martinez, Maguire, they all had a go, but don't let him turn. Many times you'll see De Bruyne, he receives the ball back to goal, and they end up going back to their own goal.
Yeah.
And usually, if you're going to press a high line, Haaland's the guy that you don't really want to play against. And De Bruyne, it's very simple. One ball, and you might have some problems. But it's excellent the fact that none of that happened, not once.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, that, Bobby, because Haaland is the one that you would expect to be to give our centre-halves more of a challenging time. But anything inside the 18-yard box, he comes alive. Anything outside the 18-yard box, he's not a footballer, Bobby, at all. It's embarrassing, really. But you know what you get with Haaland, and I think that's City's biggest problem, by the way. They don't know how to use Haaland at this point in time. He's no good with any kind of play build-up. He's a waste of time. He loses the ball more often than not. Maguire absolutely had a field day with him yesterday. He literally had a field day. He rolled Haaland over like a dog and tickled his belly. It was great to see. It really was brilliant to see. De Ligt didn't need to deal with him. Neither. Did we give Fred the Red a shout out, by the way?
No. Do you have his channel?
I did. I put it on his. I put it on the thing. Where is it? Here we are. There you go. Give Fred the Red a shout out, Jarvis.
Yeah, I'm at Fred Red.
Fred, yeah, MUFC.
Fred the Red, MUFC.
Yeah. To be fair to Fred the Red, he's been with us right from day one, hasn't he? With Realist TV,
one of the originals. Yeah,
he's a subscriber with Tactical Devils as well. So everyone, give Fred the Red a like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
He's quite poor in his overall game, and that's one of City's biggest problems at the moment because they don't have Foden playing with any kind of form. They haven't got De Bruyne playing with any kind of form. Bernardo Silva looks tired. Doku is a waste of time for Haaland, complete waste of time. Because when he does get past the defenders, he doesn't deliver. Nunes the same; they're not delivering. So it's great for us. But our overall tactical side, I read a piece actually with Amorim. I think he did about 2 or 3 years ago. And he was at Sporting, or he just got to Sporting, and he made a point, because Bombay absolutely hit the nail on the head, by the way. And he made a point that if I can't explain in a single sentence what I want you to do, I need to go back and rework what I'm asking you to do. So what he means is, I've got 4 words to tell you what I want from you. If I have to do it in 8, I'm overcomplicating it. So he understands footballers, and we're all not. I'm a footballer. We're all idiots. When it comes to that, we're idiots. As well as I do. We all think we know football, and that's what he does. So he adopts this short version, rather than a longer sentence. And I think it's paying dividends for us, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm going to bring out this sequence from the game, and this is what I like. Well, first of all, I will go to the tactical board because I want to go deeper when it comes to this. When we play in a back 5, to tell when we drop down, we play 5 in the back, and we play, because both fullbacks, wing backs drops down, and we play with 2 sitting and 2 a little bit higher. So almost like this. This is our defensive formation when we are under pressure. But what I like when you have the back 5 is the freedom to be aggressive. Because even if Manchester City have the striker, maybe Kevin De Bruyne is up here, they have Duco as a winger and the other winger on the other side. There's always a spare man in this back 5. So we have the freedom to jump and be really fully committed and extremely aggressive when we do our press. Because when we play with the back four, let's say we play with the back four. Let's remove Martinez. The moment, for example, Maguire fully commit the press, he opens up a huge gap in behind, and usually smart strikers utilize this gap, and this is an opening. So if they win the ball, Haaland will be through on goal in the next instance, because De Ligt can't move over because so it's just a continuous problem if they only move. But when we have one man extra, we can fully commit. So on yesterday's game, we saw this sequence. There was a lot of these, but you see here Manchester City are in control of the ball, and they are just trying to play the ball simply to Kevin De Bruyne. And we have a back five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see here, but you see Martinez instantly sniffing out the danger, and he fully commits in his press play. So you see in the next picture, Martinez wins the ball, and this is what I like. And there's no danger, because you see here Harry Maguire has fully control over the space Martinez leaves behind. So we are not making ourselves vulnerable in this situation. So again,
everything about that picture, Jarvis, is 100% accurate, apart from our good old friend Mr. Dialo facing completely the wrong way.
Yeah, it's true.
Unbelievable.
But now I'm talking about the aggressiveness, the ability to
what you're right there is 100%. Everything you said is 100%. But Dialo, bless him. I know you should always be square on at that point. You just stand square on, Jarvis. That's how you do it. Stand square on. For that reason, even if he wants to block Silva off with his arm, Silva just dart right. Pretty poor, but yeah, that piece of play, that passage of play. If you go back to the 5 across
here,
it's brilliant setup, brilliant positional play. Look at our 4 in the middle as well. 4 in the middle of the park.
Yeah, the 2 central and the 2 number 10s a little bit
quite tight together.
So you always capture them into the net, the way you press.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. We haven't seen that for a long time. Almost textbook, that is, in terms of our defensive structure, and in the way to do it. And by the way, why I was getting at Dialo, if you go back to that picture, by the way, look at Dallo's position is correct there. So why on earth
his body angle is
he got his body angle wrong? And these are types of things that I don't understand with Dialo and with fullbacks. I mean, the optimum, actually, Jarvis, you talk about the straight line. If you go back to the tactics board, and put the 5 back in at the back again.
Yep. Give me 1 second. Remove, yes, and there. Yep. Okay. And Maguire is back, and Martinez is back.
Back there.
There. Yep.
Your actual optimum is to push Manzari closer to Doku, Dialo closer to Bernardo.
Yeah, because you want the U shape.
Correct. And drop Maguire slightly deeper.
Because the good thing is when Masraoui presses up, Dialo drops down, and they can shift over to the other side, and you're still intact with the back 4.
Yeah, that's one reason. The other reason is if Haaland started pushing Maguire into the box, you've got to, by pushing up against Bernardo or by pushing up against Doku, you've got to give him a further way to travel around to get the crossing. So by the time they do something, they beat either Mazzari or they beat Dialo, you should be able to in a better position to handle Maguire. So that's the reason you have that U shape.
Yeah, the U shape, but that's usually more used in the 5-3-2 formation. You have the U shape.
Yeah, that's why.
For example, Brighton do this all the time when they play in that back 5. They shift like this. And we are more like in the press play we shift, because one wing back goes high and the other one drops a little bit deeper. So if the center back needs to push over behind the fullback, if it's played over, we have a back 4. So
that's exactly right. And the good thing about it is we always talk about the pendulum effect. The swinging pendulum effect. That's why a back 5 or for the better phrase, is the best way to defend deep and also push out in speed as well. So it was a good well observed, old friend. Well observed.
Yeah, Bombaye, are you in the tactical corner tonight?
He's very tactical, Bombaye.
Did you notice this and did you ever play with a back five? I noticed that you said you started out as a left back.
Yeah, we was always 4 at the back, but we had when I started playing at that position. Never played in a back five, but I've always really liked this system very much, and I was really for it when they decided, they want to play this. So, evening. But yeah, I've not played in that system, but I think ultimately, man, the way that this team is moving, the way that it's almost causing, usually you watch United and you're asking yourself, why is it us that have to keep going long because we keep getting locked in at the left back and right back position? What's wrong? Now we're starting to do it. And I thought the possession play against City was excellent. City are not the best pressing team in the Premier League by any stretch. They're better pressing teams than City. But nonetheless, I could definitely see that we've certainly moved along from the Arsenal performance. Because there were moments when City committed, we were calm. We got out. And as soon as we got out, we were away. So it was really, really good. All-round performance. I think our best one yet over the course of 90 minutes. And when you watch the game, the goal for me, I felt a little bit like a sucker punch. I'm not seriously. He hits the cross, perfect flip off AMAD, and I didn't feel worried or scared at any point. I felt comfortable. Guys, were good, and I kept feeling there is, the openings are going to come because the gaps are there and our players are going to be onside and we're going to get through. So, in general, I really like everything that I saw, in that game, and lots of big performances as well. No real passengers there.
100%.
Yeah, we played with we played sedately at times as well, didn't we? We got the ball, we didn't rush with it. I think it's a really good point, Bombier. We didn't rush when we had the ball. We were confident with the football. Our passing was on point. Our dead air football was limited. So yeah, it was a much better all-round system. Johnny Kane.
Hello.
Johnny K in the house, straight from the US of A. So how are you doing, my friend? It's been a while.
It has. I think much better circumstances this time because the only other show I've been on was when I got sacked. So we're slightly better times. I've been working from home today, so I finished at 5 p.m. here. So I thought I'd jump on and give my thoughts and everything. But yeah, good show so far. Anyway, I really enjoyed the discussion from afar. So
yeah. We are just trying to keep it sensible. We talk about the game. I'm actually, to be fair, I'm not really interested in all this about Rashford and what's going on and all that fuss. To be honest, it's kind of in a way gossip at the moment. We will know more when it's time, and if it's sold, it's sold. And the team selection next against Spurs will be interesting if he's even in the squad. So we will see. But I just want to come to you, Johnny K, and what's your thought on the game yesterday? Were you happy?
It was all right. I honestly thought that we played well, and I think you mentioned when City scored. I just think their goal came out of nowhere. Real, it wasn't like the City where they dominate and you have chance after chance. You feel you're hanging on. Even under Oli, when we had success at City, there's always that you have to sit
bomb
back,
time all the time.
take the pressure. So it wasn't like a City team where it was dominated. I think I was literally saying to everyone, I was a bit more positive we could get a result from this game purely because both teams are not in good form at the moment. But I think with United, I know we lost to Forest, but a lot of the reason were because of stupid individual errors more than anything. In that, I don't think the overall game was terrible. It's just that we let in 3 goals, and when you let in 3 goals, you tend to lose usually. Whereas yesterday, I thought we kept the ball well. I thought, the possession was around 50-50 for the game. I thought we looked a bit better on the ball. We were looking to try and do things with it. That didn't mean we created loads of chances. I thought final third for much of the game was a bit of a letdown, really. But in regards to the actual game, I just felt like the game was there for the take, and City weren't playing with any confidence whatsoever. And it's rare that you say this. I felt comfortable that City weren't going to get a second goal, and the first goal came out of luck in many ways. So when they're not playing with confidence, I just felt if it's 1-0, you always have a chance. And for me, the way the game, we were hitting the ball pretty well, and it was just get an opportunity and could we take it? Obviously, Bruno had that big chance, about 10-15 minutes before the penalty. But I just had the belief that we would get a result from this game, and it obviously came through the penalty. But overall, I thought it was a very good performance. Obviously, there's still areas to improve with the forward line, but aside from that, I don't think you can have too many complaints about the overall performance.
Well, Johnny, you're right, but I think that's somewhat up for discussion now. I mean, do we need to improve the forward line? There's been a lot of talk, hasn't there? We want a striker, etc., etc. But Højlund's goals in midweek. The second one in particular was a striker's goal. It was a phenomenal finish. AMAD can finish. We know he can finish. Bruno can finish when he puts his mind to it. And he was more influential yesterday than he's been for a while. Bruno, I wasn't impressed with his celebration on the pen. No, it's not that I wasn't impressed with his celebration. It's just that there's 5 minutes to go. What are you doing, dicking about?
So, well, I'm just wondering whether because they gave him stick after that big chance.
No, it was. Yeah, it was.
Probably his response. But it's weird because actually with Bruno, I felt like with the possession we could have just created a few more chances potentially. Like I remember one. Yes.
I'm not going to go in for. I'm not going to pop it in for celebrating because you should celebrate. I would have liked to have just got the ball back and gone on with it, but as it turned out, it was a moot point by me anyway because AMAD produced a bit of magic. I did hear actually a lot of the City fans having a right pop at is it Guardiola on the line, but
I think the issue with him is he tries to backheel it off the line rather than clear it. I think that
damned if you do or damned if you don't with that one, because if he touches it, it's in the net anyway. Either way, he's going to get it wrong. So, because AMAD didn't really particularly get the greatest connection, did he? It almost rolled down his shin. Well, sometimes those are the best anyway, aren't they? But the skill to lift it over, to get that part right, to lift it up and to make it loop pretty much.
I think it's interesting you're saying that because I was watching, I think apparently on Monday Night Football, Carragher and Henry did a brilliant take on that goal, how AMAD actually took it. Because I know Henry was saying, you watch it, he sees the ball coming, and then he takes his eye off the ball and he's judging the flight of the ball.
Yeah.
And he says if he keeps his eye on the ball, he'll lose it. And then at the very last second, he's judging the fly of the ball and he's predicting where the ball's going to bounce. And rather than focus on where the ball, he focuses on where the ball's going to bounce. And and then even then, when you look at it, he's in midair and he controls it with the tip.
Yeah.
His toe. Like he's literally midair. So that control to do. He's keeping his eye on the ball there. And then like at the very last second, he turns his head away from the ball and looks to see what area is that ball going to bounce. And then look to control it, which he did because he was in midair and he was controlling it with the tip of his toe, and it's quite remarkable.
He's
managed to do it.
The other part of that, Johnny, is the backspin. The backspin on that ball from Martinez.
Yeah.
You know, when you put a lot of backspin, so what I mean by backspin is you're getting underneath the football, so it's spinning backwards. It's almost impossible sometimes to control because the spin, as soon as it's your foot, it spins on your foot.
Yeah.
So you need that deft touch to control it like he did. It was honestly, it was brilliant. To get it over the keeper it's phenomenal goal. It really is.
I mean, like you say, I think probably the best exponent for someone who controlling the ball in midair was probably maybe Juan Mata.
Juan Mata
was incredible for controlling the ball. When I think it's like that deft touch to know where it's going to bounce and to literally be at full straight. And he's right foot in the air. He's not even touching the ground. So to keep that control, to tip it with the tip of his toe and then to finish it off, you cannot underestimate just how incredible that technique is.
But it's about balance for me. I think it's about his natural balance, and when it comes to every position, you can see he's always never in a way try to tip over. He's always in balance. He stays on his feet.
And I think you talked about Martinez, the ball, and you mentioned the backspin. It's the scenario where how he manages to get in like almost no man's land, where it's like he puts into an area where the attacker can potentially get hold of it, but also makes the keeper think he can get on the end of it as well.
Plus, it's the run. Watch AMAD right at the very beginning while Martinez is dallying with it. AMAD makes that split-second run. Yeah. As soon as he runs, as soon as he moves, that's when Martinez delivers.
Yeah,
it's very clever goal. Very, very clever goal.
But Stu, I will also point out when it comes to AMAD's footballing IQ, when you talk about body shape, look at his body shape. It looks, for me, at this moment, the defender is a little bit front foot because he expects.
Yeah, he's expecting
to move into this area.
He is.
So he's a little bit front foot, so he gets caught off guard when the passes comes.
And you look at City's shape, but you look at the way City is shaped.
It's not bad. Not bad.
It's not bad. They literally, there's no danger. Like you got centre half on the ball, goes halfway line. There's really anything, and then just that quick movement. It just completely catches them off guard, doesn't it? So
but the thing is, it's the way City is set up there, Jarvis. You're absolutely right, and you, Johnny. Yeah. Perfect. There's no problem there from City from a defensive point of view. No issue whatsoever.
Literally, you look at it. I mean, maybe Dialo here on the left who's our pitch, but there's not an obvious pass on there for Martinez when you look at it.
Maybe to turn it over to is it Anthony?
Anthony, that'll be Anthony. Yeah. Which, by the way, Anthony's actually wanting the ball, which is good to see.
But I want to go into the details and what I talk about when I mentioned AMAD's footballing IQ, his understanding of the game, because earlier in the game, let's just go back before we go to this goal, because there's so many elements to this. Because earlier in the game we saw City's high line. They played with an extremely high line, aggressive high line, almost almost, I would say, on the edge to I would call it a little bit naive, and you see here from the first half, 26th minute, we have the ball. They are not really putting Maguire under pressure. You see Haaland just jogging on the side of Maguire, but they still keep the high line here, and this is the high line I talk about, extremely high line, and they kept their team extremely compact, and we kept dilly-dallying on the ball on one side, and they moved almost all of their team to one side, really compact as a unit. And then, as we talked about, it gave Dialo a little bit outlet on the other side, but Kyle Walker had control on Dialo because he's a right footer on the left side. So City weren't worried about Dialo, and we saw a lot of offsides in the first half because of this high line. But in the second half, AMAD, he figures this out. He's really clever when it comes to angling his run in the right way. So if we go back to this situation with the goal, first of all, you see how he angles his body, and you should maybe expect that he will drop down to receive the ball in this area. So in the next picture, you see he starts his run, and he angles his run this way directly. But when he comes to about here, he shifts and then go this way again. So he kept himself on side, not outside, and he made it really difficult for the defender. He took them off guard. And also, you see here the small details in this goal. If you see Josh Zirkzee running this way, dragging the central defender out and creating this space for AMAD to run into. It's almost like it's rehearsed in a way. And Dialo, he mentioned that he knows that Martinez likes to do stuff like this in training, put those type of balls in behind. So you see here, he runs almost like in a Z or in a S, and that's quite clever.
Do you know something though?
It tells me that he can adapt to the game. He understands, and nobody tell him. It's his footballing IQ.
City weren't in a bad position defensively then either. If you look at that final ball, they're not in the worst position defensively either. It was just that he made the ball. He made the goal. AMAD.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys noticed this with AMAD, how he angles his run. And also on, I would say he made a perfect run on the penalty. He came from the other side, and he runs with the line and not over the line. And that's a good thing because it keeps the momentum, it keeps the pace, not running and stopping and then starting running again, because then he has to rely on his acceleration, and that's not always the best thing. Sorry for my tongue twister.
No.
It's not often you see many defenders that have the ability of Martinez to play forward passes like that. That's not the first time you would have seen that this season. Against Everton, you saw that. Against Arsenal, also, you saw that where Dialo is in. That's a really good weapon to have. It's very difficult to deal with that because you're either going to have to press us. Yeah, and if you're going to play a high line, you don't have to, you can be worrying about the midfield, but you have to worry about the potential of a player making a run that can put you in a real imposition just from one ball, from the quality that Martinez has to pick passes. I think forward passing is one of the best. I know people talk about Van Dijk's switch ball and stuff, but you've not seen Van Dijk put balls through where people are clean through on goal. Can you remember any City defenders doing that either?
No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who I do remember doing it. Daley Blind.
Class player.
Daley Blind. And I think that's I think, sorry, can I just briefly mention, Jarvis, that there's a video of the game explaining the goal from his perspective, how he did it. And he said Marcez does that kind of ball all the time in training. You learn to run in behind, and he explains how he looked at the ball and, where he judged where it was going to bounce, control it and tap it in. And he just said it's all training ground work. And this is what I mean, that it's a lot of the time, it's on a lot of these, some of our forwards needs learners who've been guilty of it. Sometimes making runs to create space, not necessarily to receive the ball, but to create space for your teammates. And that's what Xerxes did. If Xerxes doesn't make that run, potentially doesn't get that goal, because he drags Diaz out of position. Like, if he doesn't make that run, Diaz probably heads that ball away.
I didn't notice the Xerxes run till just. You just showed it, Jarvis. I didn't notice that yesterday. I was concentrating on what was happening with AMAD rather than the Xerxes run.
But it's a brilliant third man run. It's almost Mason Mount-esque how he makes it. This is Mason Mount's specialty. But they obviously work on this in training. It has to be rehearsed, or maybe the players just understand the game. And
out of curiosity, from City's perspective, who do you blame for that goal? Is it Gundogan? Is it the other centre half? Who should be watching AMAD there?
Guardiola is.
I don't blame anyone for that goal. There are times in football where you just got to doff your cap to the opposition.
Yeah,
there really are, and there are some things that you just got to. I mean, the pass. Bombay is right. The pass from Martinez. There's no margin for error. Zero margin for error. I didn't realise the Xerxes run, so I'm gonna doff my cap to both you and Jarvis on that, Johnny. Yeah. When you look at where their ball is and where AMAD is, they're not in a bad defensive position.
No,
at all.
It's hardly a goal chance. Actually,
that's what I mean. Yeah. So you just got to. They're just on occasions where you just got to doff your cap to the opposition and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due. Great goal. And I think Guardiola and the City players would probably view that as that. And the same with the penalty, you can have a go at Nunez for the mistake. But the brains that Dialo showed on that particular moment of play was just phenomenal. He's done a couple of things in yesterday's game that have turned my opinion on him, because Jarvis asked me what I thought about Dialo 2 days ago, and I said, well, I haven't really don't kind of get the hype yet. And then all of a sudden, he's just totally changed my opinion of him. I've never seen anyone have a brain and work so quickly that in that 5 minutes worth of playing time, I've never seen anybody demonstrate that kind of intelligence on a football pitch.
The Dialo derby.
It was just phenomenal. It really wasn't.
Yeah. I agree. Talking about the Pep, Mick sent me this Instagram clip. Maybe we should play it. It's I haven't seen it, so it's first time for me to play some side. How do I start from the beginning? Maybe. Okay.
Seriously, man, what the hell is wrong with this team? Nunez, you goddamn garbage can. You goddamn low IQ donkey. I am sending his ass to Saudi next month. He sabotaged the match. He wanted to help out his Portuguese friend, Ruben Amorim. That was ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. That was worse than the Feyenoord match. Nunez, go play for your daddy, Ruben. Dude is out there throwing matches. This dude cost me and my team the match. I will probably get sacked now because of this. How can a player be so dumb? I just don't get it, man. Ederson had recovered and this donkey goes and dives into his legs. What the fuck are you doing, man? Use your little brain a little, man. God gave you a brain for a reason. And this kid refuses to use it. I'm getting on the phone now to send his trash ass to Saudi. Al Nasser probably could use him. Now get that mic off my face before I shove it in your ass. I'm about to go tear up the whole locker room. You might see more scratches on my head tomorrow, guys. Good night. I am done with...
Internet is ruthless, man. Internet is ruthless.
You know who that reminded me of there? You could imagine Roy Keane saying the same thing.
Wow, yeah.
If anybody, it's going to be Roy.
It's Roy Keane in Pep's voice, isn't it?
Do you guys know the story when that Chris Kamara said about Roy Keane? So Keano's in relegation. Is at Sunderland.
I've heard about that, yeah.
And he gets into the lift, and there's a lady attendant. And then Kamara walks into the lift, and the lady goes, going down. Chris looks at Roy and goes, I think she's talking to you, Roy.
Yeah. I think he had a little cunning smile, Roy, after that. Honestly, I realised halfway through that's like Roy Keane with a Pep voice, isn't it?
It's a good one. It's a good one, man. And I also found this one today. There's a lot of banter on Pep. He says if Manchester City fan are mad, they can come fight me. All 6 of them. I don't care.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because City fans of the modern era won't know how to react to this, will they? But,
can I just say that, sorry, briefly, my brother's a City fan and he was on camera at the game.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
But your brother is a fan, isn't he? He probably
he was probably studying the when they were playing in Division 1 at Main Road.
Oh.
I mean, in fairness to my brother and most of my family, they're very loyal City supporters.
You ask a City fan today what the Kipax is, they would never fucking clue.
Yeah. I was like, I was sending messages to my friends saying, like, if you think Haaland was, if you think Haaland was City's best ever striker, they don't know Sean Goater, do they?
Feed the goat.
Yeah, the goat who actually, not many people know this, started his career at Manchester United.
Yeah. And I was like, with Pep, I think Miguel Delaney said that they would talk, and it's unlikely, but discussion about Pep, it's like, since you're in that much trouble, they might have to recall Joe Royal, might they?
Joe Royal. I'd like to get Niall Quinn back out of retirement. The mighty Quinn.
Yeah.
Quinn and White.
Quinn and White,
By the way, little thing, did you remember a man's player called Kashvili, who played for City? Apparently he's been like elected president in Georgia or something.
Something like that, isn't he?
He was elected, and apparently he made his debut in the derby in '96. When won 3-2, and Giggs scored that goal. It was right Platt Lanes, and then that Kashvili played in his game. He actually got the equaliser for them in that game. So it's quite a bit of trivia there for you.
I remember Geordie Kincladsey. I thought it was him that got, but of course it wasn't. It was the
How many players are the Kincladsey?
Kincladsey, what a player though!
Yeah, it was.
He could on his day, he could. He was almost as good as Morton Gamp's Pedersen.
Nowhere near. But you have a lot of these technical players coming from Georgia, Russia, Ukraine. Like you remember that Arshavin, the guy who played for kind of similar technique. They're really quick on their feet, and I heard it was because they play a lot of futsal.
Yes,
in winter time, and so you get that futsal technique, really quick feet.
Quick feet, but I can hold my own on a futsal pitch now, Jarvis.
I would love to see that, Stu.
I've had 4 games of futsal now, and not bad. Not bad. I couldn't get a grip to it at first. I kept playing off the ball. I got told off a couple of times because you play it within a specific area. But the ball was very strange when I first struck it. But I do like futsal.
Yeah. I see requesting a footage of Pep being held back by security after being poked by a scouse. I haven't seen it, so I will search and this came out. It's Maguire's revenge. It's the Manchester is red. but guys, I put this out. Get your questions in. It's Q&A time. So
yes, I'm dying to slow down here. So yes.
Let's just do it. Let me play the
yes.
Where is it? It's not here. Oh, there it's Q&A jingle.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Jonathan.
People drinking.
Yes. Q&A time. Are you okay leading the show, Stu, or
I'll let you host this week if you don't mind, pal.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
So, guys and girls, people watching, get your questions in. It's Q&A time. You know how to do it. Put in Q at the end, first of your comment, and leave us a question, and we will try to answer as many as we can before we have to end the show. So let's just start. The first question in is Fred the Red MUFC News coming in and say, question to Stu and Jarvis. If you were refereeing yesterday, do you think Walker deserved to be red carded as he was trying to get Højlund sent off? I think yes. So Stu, I'll give this to you.
Well, I in situations like that, I think you should be carded purely for the embarrassment side of it. I mean, things flare up in football. You can't raise your fist or drop a nut in football, and you get that all the time. People come together, players come together. It's a male reaction. It's a stag reaction. To put your head in, a little bump here and there. But to go down like an absolute pansy, looking for somebody to get sent off is unacceptable. It should be a straight red card and 3-match ban, no questions asked. If I was Højlund, I would have walked over to our physio, got a bandage, and given it to him. There you go, because of all that cloud that's coming out of your head, it's just pathetic. It was. I've never seen anything like it. Well, I have actually. I've seen it plenty of times, haven't we? Don't you remember Rivaldo in the World Cup in
South Korea? Yeah.
South Korea, yeah. So it's pathetic.
Yeah, but we have seen many of times players doing this when they get into a clash with the head-to-head. And sometimes you see players just moving their head slowly like this. But if the other player drops down, it's an instant red. So I don't know. I don't like this part of football, and I think the referees, as if I'm going to ask Fred the Red's question, I think answer it. I think it should have been a straight red, because I don't want to see this in football. It doesn't belong here. No. I think a lot of young people watching football, we as spectators, it's just embarrassing. So get rid. That's
Agreed.
just my opinion. Yeah. Next question coming in. Thank you, Fred, for the question. Jamie Wayne. He comes in and say, do we take a chance on Dialo or go for a new left back? John.
Yeah, we need a new left back. So, I would. I'm not Dialo's biggest fan, being honest, but I think that he could potentially be a good backup right back, but I don't think that Dialo is the answer necessarily. I think he's can be found wanting at times defensively, and I don't think he's the best cross of the ball either. So for me, yeah, again, you left back in.
Mm-hmm. But do you think we should bin him, like sell him?
If you get, I think any player is sellable for the right price. So yeah, if you get good money for him, yes, I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Thank you, Jamie Wayne, for that question. Coming in, The Rock says, meeting was good yesterday. The game with Spurs on Thursday is for me the more important. First trophy up for grabs would be good for Amorim. So I don't know if this is a comment, but Boumbaye, would you go for a League Cup this year, a League Cup run? Is it important for Amorim to get a trophy this season?
A trophy is always good. It vindicates what you're trying to do. You want to step out of the shadow of the past as well, start to forge your own. I like what Mourinho did. He removed everything associated with the past because, it was everywhere. So that team was being newly assembled and he felt they were living in the shadow. And he said, no, we need to forge our own history for this club now. But a trophy is always a good thing. But more important than a trophy, just play, keep working, keep improving. We're looking for progression where we are at the end of the year. It's not unimportant. It is important to get points on the board. And these 3 points were absolutely massive because they keep us with the pack. Having lost that game or even drew it, you would have been a game away and 3 points away from actually being in and amongst the pack. But now you win this week, you're right back in the mix. So as long as you're there, that top 4 is not gone. Look at the table. Not at all. And you want to be there. And he says the right things. He understands results are important. You can't just simply say, I'm working, progressing. That progress and that work needs to yield something, and it is. So Tottenham, every game is important, but and he's using the squad, which is really good.
Yeah.
You're not settled yet on a solid starting 11. There's room to pinch a place here and there. I think there are things that are developing in the team that you're starting to think, yeah, this is a staple. Mazraoui seems to be that. AMAD seems to be that. Ugarte seems to be that. Everything else, is still in flux a little bit. There's room. It's only 5-6 games. He's finding things out. You saw Garnacho and Rashford are out, but just go to every game with those things in mind. We go to win and we go to play our football. So I wouldn't just bin any competition off. I don't think anybody will do that.
No.
You might be an opportunity to try a few things. He still says it himself. We're trying things. Look, people said AMAD in the 10. You got AMAD in the 10.
Yeah.
But
as a Man United fan, you always want to go for a trophy. I see that, but as Noradin always say, you think we should go out of Europe and all the cups, domestic cups, just to get more time on the training ground to really get the system going.
Man, look, this is a difficult thing. Yeah. It's like damned you do, damned you don't. You're gonna play games, and sometimes you're going to get injuries, and then you'll put it down to the fact that you played games. But the Europa League is a route. It's a route into the Champions League.
It is.
It's simple as that. So just take each game as it comes. Keep playing your football. We have a squad there. You can use these games to put different types of pressures on different types of players.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are opportunities rather than chores. Rather than instances of fatiguing players. These are opportunities. Try something. Apply certain pressure onto certain players. Right, this is your moment. Go and change the game. I want you to do this for me today. The more games that we have, the more we can try things, the more we can test what we're Amorim's ideas. The more players are going to get out there to get their minutes. Tottenham now. Okay, Garnacho, Rashford. Let's see it. We won City without you. We played our best game of the season. Amazing thing, that great thing. Nobody is, nobody's bigger than the parts of this thing. You're a cog in it. Let's see. Go and do your thing now, because that's what I liked about it. Ultimately, okay, they're left out, but this week is new life. That was what he kept saying. Means let's reset. Show me I'm wrong. Let's get back in the team. Tottenham's a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It could be that Noradin is wrong on this one, because Amorim is not Ten Hag. He uses his squad, and this is why Amorim will succeed, even going into deep runs in the domestic cups and Europa League. A lot of games, maybe you will do us better in the long run. But time will tell. But good answer, Bombaye, and thank you, The Rock says, for that question. Roshmano, big Roshmano comes in, big up, buddy. He comes in and say, I will give this to the match-going fan. You all go to games, but
£66, mate, for any ticket across the board, child, disabled, anybody, is taking the piss now at Man United. That's the bottom line.
Could be worse though. My brother, a City fan, paid £70 for his ticket yesterday.
But we're talking about £66 for any seat.
No, I agree. So.
Do you know what I mean? I get it, 66 quid, but they're talking about children now. It's the same, and then you've got the elderly tickets are the same, and now the disabled, and some of the elderly ones that have been there for years. You know what it's like at a game. You get to know somebody. You see them once a week. They're putting some of those elderly people up, apparently, in quite high stands. There's no lift at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's a lot of money. That's just a ticket. You're not talking about a pie or a drink. It's an expensive do if you take, somebody. You're looking at more than the average day's wage.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Stu, you go to games. How do you feel about ticket prices?
It's shocking. I mean, they write to me and text to me, So if you can't make the game, you want to sell it. I get face value back on my ticket, and they make 25 quid or whatever on top. The days of the season ticket are over, I'm afraid, everybody. We cost them money. They know, Manchester United know that they can make money on our tickets. So they would rather season ticket holders, like myself, 30 years this year, sell our tickets back to the club so they can get the extra money. It's just unacceptable. Really, really poor.
Yeah. But we have to make more money. That's the dilemma into all of this.
And the fact they haven't done it without any kind of consultancy with, fan groups, that kind of thing. It's, it will happen next season. The price for the season ticket will probably go. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the actual cost of a game.
Tickets next year will be.
Yeah, I don't know what the average price is, around £45 probably, but
you're going to see a big increase in season tickets next year. Big increase.
But in the end of the day, I'm playing the devil's advocate into this. At the end of the day, Man United is a business. We are on the New York Stock Exchange, and
it is.
It's about capitalism, and capitalism. It's supply and demand, and the demand for tickets at the Old Trafford are really high. So there's no problem for the club selling out for £66. So why shouldn't they be allowed to do business?
I think it's not that they shouldn't. It's a question of what are the fans going to do to arrest the situation, at least stop the price continually going up, because it's going up at a rate that is way ahead the rate of inflation, one. But two, and this is now, obviously you're right, money is king and it will trump whatever sentimentality. But I'm just going to make a little side point, which is Bobby Charlton, rest in peace. Without the fans, football is nothing. The fans that have been going there, father to son, Stu's 30 years season ticket holder. that type of fan is going to be eventually priced out, because Manchester United, on a weekly basis, I speak to so many people that are desperate for a ticket to just go and watch a game. They're not a season ticket holder, so the demand is so much there, and they love that fan, that the tourist fan, which is absolutely fine. Everybody's the same, no worries. But the fan that comes there for a day trip, the fan that comes there as a once in a lifetime, they're plentiful. They're going to buy everything. They're going to do the tour. They're going to do the whole 9 yards. That's where the dough is. But you're going to lose that atmosphere. You're going to lose that traditional feel of a stadium. Yeah. You're going to lose a lot. That's the trade-off. That's the trade-off here. So you're going to lose a lot of that stuff. But I don't think that will stop anything. Unfortunately, you're right. I think money is king, and the only way to stop it is to join. There are a lot of initiatives out there. Yeah. People are standing firm with this because it's happening everywhere. Nottingham Forest have doubled their price for a ticket because they're in the Premier League and they're doing pretty well. Yeah. So imagine somebody just rings you up and says it's not 30 quid anymore. It's 60 quid overnight. So it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Thank you for that question, Rosmano. I think you made a good debate in this panel. So Fred the Red is back with another question, and it's a question directed to Stu. Stu, in this system of Amorim, I've heard Barcelona wants to take Rashford plus cash for the young. Okay. Is that Frankie the right or Frankie the wrong deal to do?
The only deal to do would be Dani Olmo, as we touched on earlier. 100% Frankie de Jong. I never wanted him in the first place. And I had this debate with people when we were linked with him, actually, a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. People were saying, De Jong comes in, we get him to do this, get him to do that. My question was, how long have you wanted Frankie de Jong at Manchester United? And I got it. This is the problem with the modern day football fan. We get linked with a player, but all of a sudden, he's the one. He's the shining light. He's going to be the golden ticket, the key that unlocks what we need. The fact of the matter is that you only like the player because you're linked with him. Go and do your research. Go and do your due diligence. Frankie de Jong was an excellent player. Superb footballer. No two ways about it. He never would have fitted in Manchester United system because we don't have the players around him. And he's too injury prone at this current state in his career. Frankie de Jong is going to be one of those players that is going on the downward trajectory now, and it's a real shame. So Fred the Reds, Dani Olmo, all day long.
Okay. Thank you, Fred the Red, for that question. G Wolf comes in. Big up G Wolf. He comes in and say, "This is for Johnny K. Do you think we get top 4 at the end of the season?"
I don't think we will. No, but because I think it's like you got a lot of clustered teams. I don't know how many points we're off the top. I'm guessing 6-7 points maybe, but I think it's pardon.
I think it's less than that now, pal.
Is it? I don't know, but we're still in 13th, aren't we? So there.
We are on 6. No, this is last year. Let's go to the right season. Here we go. So
Forest 28 and we're 22. Oh, so only 6 points.
Yeah, there's not a lot in it.
Yeah.
The top 4 is 28. So
it's unbelievable this season when you look at the points.
I mean, to think we achieved that result, yes, and we haven't moved in the table at all.
Oh no.
I mean, but I do think that I still think it's unlikely. I think City will eventually get in the top 5. I think a couple of those teams will slip up. But you look at the sheer, I mean, Tottenham are 10th, aren't they? So I think that I mean, it's not impossible, but you want to consolidate, get like a good winning run, get a style of play identified, which we're slowly beginning to see. I think the priority is for us to obviously get up the league in a European place. But for me, it's I think the chance of actually getting for more, I think that's unlikely considering where the squad is at this moment. But who knows?
Yeah, but it doesn't look good.
No,
I think it will be a 6 points. Yeah, it doesn't sound much, but I think it will be
we say 6 points
because of our inconsistency. We are in a new stage with the manager, and we will win, we will lose, we will win, we will lose and draw. So we will drop a lot of points. To close that gap, we have to stay consistent, and that's I think is the biggest issue.
I think also that there's 9 teams between 4, and it's the fact that you have to leapfrog half the league almost to get in the top 4. So it's not just points gap; it's sheer amount of teams you got to get ahead in order to. But I always see, let's see where we are at Christmas and after the New Year. Once you played everyone once, then I think you'll have a better idea then, I think. Yeah.
There's a lot of questions on almost the same topic. Rosmano said, what would you class as a good season under Amorim?
You answer that.
Yeah, but for me, I think I don't care about the league position this year. The only thing that will make this a brilliant season is us winning the Europa League, getting to qualify through that one. So I don't know. A win the Europa League, that's a really good season, but I don't have any expectations for this season. I just want to see a Dialo play and us developing as a football team. Next season will be more important, how I see it. But money wise, getting Europe is very important. So I think if you come to Ineos, they would say, and the Glazers and the owners and all of them, I think they would I think they will be happy with the Europa League qualification, and I think that will be the aim, because we need at least some income next season.
Yeah,
staying out of Europe, I think it will cost us too much, because we need money this summer transfer window. We don't have money for a total overhaul for Amorim, but we have Eriksson, Maguire, Evans, Lindelof, a lot of players on an expiring contract, and we have older players like Casemiro, like Rashford on his way out. So it looks like we are going to sign a lot of players. And
I think Maguire stays, Jarvis. I think we'll extend Maguire. Evans will expire in the summer.
That was reported by the Times, actually.
I think not. Yeah, Evans will
stay. We know Ineos and their game plan about younger players on their first and second contracts. Maguire is not the right profile. That's just what I'm worried about.
He's not, but he's brilliant at 3 in the back.
You need to keep some experience, because the team is very young, Think about it. Got Ugarte 23, 24. You've got AMAD 22. Hoyland is a baby. Xerxes is a baby. Garnacho is a baby. A lot of kids still in this team. You need some experience in there with them, Even De Ligt's 24. I know he's been around the block. Still young. So it's good. And Maguire, you have to take your hat off to the guy, the mill he went through. And last season, had we sold him, we would have been in a lot of trouble, He performed all right under all the circumstances. And you saw yesterday, and we were saying, out of the lot, I'd keep Maguire. I'd give him another year.
Yeah. I agree. Thank you for that question, Rosmano. Paul S. comes in with almost the same question. Would you consider an improvement on last season 8th place as progress? Quick yes or no, Stu.
Well, yeah. I mean, 7th is progress. As long as you finish higher, it's progress. But, it's a difficult one to measure, really, because Jarvis is right. You could finish 10th, but have a much better grasp of the game, play better football, and that. So I'm with you on that one. So I'll go yes.
Thank you, Paul S. Nash M87 comes in with a really good question. I will give this to the panel because we have to debate this. The question is: we talked about the positives from the match. What are the areas we need to work on?
I want to see better movement. I want to see more from Højlund. He did it for me this game. He did make some runs and he was found. But we have the potential when people want to push a high line. We're going off this particular game. Teams that play a high line, we have with the ghosting runs of our Mazraoui and Dialo, with the ability of somebody like Martinez, they should be taking a chance. That pass, AMAD takes a chance, and you make that run, and he puts it into a good area, and you always have an opportunity. I want to see more of that. I don't see enough of that. I saw it that game. If you think of the Arsenal just 2 weeks ago, Højlund was so static. There were opportunities, so they have to find them. There has to be a common understanding that people like Martinez can do that. Bruno can do that. So make those runs, force the pass. So I would like to see more of that. We can be a very dangerous proposition against the high line.
Yeah.
I'd like to see less dead air play. I want to see us do less of this passing around the back four. I get it. I'm all for slowing the play down on occasions, but we do it a little bit too much for me. So, in other words, I'm kind of agreeing with Bombier as well. I'd like to see a quicker progression with the football.
For me, I would. I think, like I say, just we had possession well yesterday. I just don't think we perhaps did quite enough with the ball. Yes, we did create a couple of chances, but I remember one thing that stood out for me in the second half. You may remember Bruno had the ball on the right-hand side, caused the corner flag. And I was watching Højlund and he made a run to the post. He had half a yard on the defender. And it was quite a really difficult a ball to find him. And Bruno didn't end up crossing it to him. And I was watching Højlund and he could have had a chance there if Bruno got the ball into him. So I think that's one area we got to, when Højlund makes those runs, I think we got to try and get the ball to him when he gets that half a yard on the defender. I think once or twice yesterday we didn't do that. So I think that's one area we need to improve on.
Yeah.
Good
observations from all three of you. For me, I think the obvious is defending on set pieces, especially corners defensively. We need to do something. We can't keep conceding goals all the time. And I think we can easily fix this. I think we got to step away from this zonal marking. I don't think it worked because what happens a lot of the time is that our defensive players are standing still. And the attackers are coming with momentum, so they are bound to win the duel. They jump higher. So I think we should move more with the attackers as defenders and maybe be a part more dynamic. And I think we can solve this, but we need to do it quick because we can't concede goal every game on corner kicks. And the other thing quickly is Dialo, because we don't have a left fullback or a wing back. I think it hinders us a lot, the dynamic going forward all the time. So if we can fix those two things, I think we're pretty good. So thank you, Nash M87, for the brilliant question. And we have another one from G Wolf comes in and say, and do you think we sell Rashford in January?
Not in January, I don't think so. I agree with you.
I don't think he will. I think the only chance in January the Saudi club came in. I don't see him going to another big club or whatever until the summer.
No. Personally, I think we will sell him. I think if Amorim has made his mind up, he will be gone. And quite frankly, I think it's time because we have seen his curve, his downwards trajectory, and it's just getting worse. And he's had his chances, talking about the Belfast and other instances under Ten Hag coming in late.
It's not just under Amorim. Ineos have been here for nearly a year now as well. And there's been one or two things that have arisen, so they've probably had enough now as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good. I think these instances are key moments. You're the second highest player at this club. You can do it. You scored 30 goals 2 seasons ago. I think there's more to Rashford's game. I agree with what Stu said earlier about Rashford. He's got a lot of things going on. He's a good player. But these instances sometimes are blessings in disguise. Are you going to step up to the plate, or are you going to be a mardas now? Or you think you have a divine right to play? This is your opportunity. The manager's going to give you another open, clean window starting this week. So maybe he hasn't made his mind up, but you can change his mind.
Well, the rumours are that they want.
It's 6 games.
It's a big decision for. I mean, it hasn't been mentioned, but I think that's a bigger decision for Garnacho, possibly.
Well, I think that goes across the board, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you fall out of favour, it can go 2 ways. I think Martial, I'll give you that as an alternate example. That's a player, had talent, but every time there was competition on the horizon, I felt he shirked it. There was an excuse. He took my number. That's not conducive to showing a manager, listen, I'm up for this. And you're not up against them. You're up against guys that are stopgap guys. Learn from them, improve your game. So Marcus could well get sold if this, if these kind of things keep coming out from Amorim, and that's what he sees. Because end of the day, Marcus has also got to be an elder statesman. He's come through the academy. He's been there a long time. We've got a lot of young players. You should be leading by example, not just Bruno. You've captained the team before, so it's up to him. And give Ineos a reason to get 300 G's off the books a week. They will take it. So you got to earn your keep.
Yeah, I think we should. A lot of people agree. Rosmano says we can't have a sulky player, and DJ Superfly definitely 100%. It's time for him to move on. So I think a lot of people are fed up with Rashford, and
yes.
I think it will be best for both parts if we split ways now at this time. But time will show. Let's see. We have one coming up from Neil Driscoll. He says, question, referee yesterday, was he poor? Yes or no? There was some incident.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I think it was interesting. I mean, we should have had that penalty on Højlund. And it was interesting. Even Dermot Gallagher, he was trying to say it was a penalty. Even Stephen Warnock was laughing at him. But I thought he gave. I mean, Kyle Walker should have been sent off. The penalty on Højlund. I don't think he had the best game yesterday. But to be honest, I mean, it's rare that you get a referee having a good game these days, isn't it? But,
I don't think it was one of those games, actually, where it was ever going to be overly contentious. If you take those two parts out of the game, that can happen in any match, in any football match. So the actual game itself wasn't what you class as a typical derby from the 90s and the 80s. There was no particularly tough challenges in there. There was nothing really that would tax the referee. He did make poor decisions. I mean, you could argue. I mean, the penalty in the Højlund for me was a pen.
Yeah,
100%. And you could argue that he looked at the and I'm just making an argument for it. I don't agree with this, but I'm just making an argument for it. He looked at the Walker incident and thought it's not that type of game. I'm just going to, tell him to grow up, ruffle his hair like a little child and be the bigger man. I don't know, but I don't think it was a game where it was ever going to get contentious, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. But I don't like Anthony Taylor anyway. I think he's shite, so. I do. But that would be my reading of the way he rapped yesterday.
Yes, Walker was a red card, not yellow. Fred Red comes in and say that, and we have Gaming Simp in the house. Big up Gaming Simp. And I saw a question here from Jamie Wayne. It's just a quick one. Jarvis, I can't see Rushy in the chat, and no, you can't because he's on Tactical Devils holding the fort as chief moderator with Routinator, G-Wolf, Gaming Simp. Actually, I have all the Flying Pig crew over at my house. So, guys, thank you for holding the fort. So, if you want to talk to them, jump over to Tactical Devils and smash the like.
Yeah.
We have, I would say, I think that's the end of the. Oh, we have one question.
One more question, but I don't know who he's talking about.
I will give this to Rushmano, who's the 6.5 Amorim is interested in, and can we get him? Any of you guys know transfer rumors, goalkeepers?
I've got no idea who he was talking about.
Is it Donnarumma?
Oh no, God, I hope not.
I'm just trying to think about who's the Milan goalkeeper. Trying to think who.
Mike Mania.
I don't know. Well, it's not Diego Costa, is it? I don't think he's that high.
He's not that tall, is he? Diego Costa?
No.
And Bayern D is about 6'5", isn't he? But
no, that's the Japanese goalkeeper.
No, that's the Japanese keeper. Yeah, he's not 6'5".
Possibly be 6'5".
Jarvis.
I don't. Yeah, but can he? You don't. I don't know.
Genetics. I know.
Yes. I'm not trying to. Yeah.
No. Then again, who would have thought that Gary Barlow's son would be 6'8"? So,
yeah. Fraser Forster's 6'5".
Now, a lot of the Spurs fans are having a right pop at him, but he's been superb for them recently, Fraser Forster.
Yeah, he has done well.
Really
yeah.
Colbell.
I don't
know. Help us out.
Excuse me, guys.
Very smart nurse when I need him. Oh, he comes in. He thinks he's French.
Okay. You think he's French? Okay, Paul. Well, Paul, if you've got any information about it, let us know next week. Let us know next Monday if you've got some further information. Or on Tactical Devils. We'll do some stuff during the week, won't we, Jarvis?
Dortmund. Yeah, okay.
Would you guys change Onana?
Maybe.
That size where I'm at.
Yeah, because I was a bit. I don't know how fair this. I was a bit critical for their goal yesterday because the header wasn't right in the corner. But I don't know.
I thought it was a good header. To be
fair, it was a good header. Yeah, but
I thought it was a good header.
I always think with Onana, because he kind of stands still a lot and doesn't. Almost gets his.
Do you know the problem with a header, John? And I'm not a goalkeeper, by the way, but any of you goalkeepers out there, you'll know this. The problem with a header is it can come off any part of your face, and your face isn't flat, and it really is. So the way he jumped up and he kind of got over it like that, if it comes slightly off the side here, maybe, then you just don't know where it's going to end up. Headings. I mean, I'm not the best header of. Well, I'm all right. Actually, I like a good header. It's quite a difficult thing to get right. I scored an absolute pearler, Bombay, last Wednesday, 5-a-side.
What? A header?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I went down on one knee, and then bang, I popped it in the corner. I was well chuffed.
Oh, wow. Not bad going at 5-a-side, man. That's
I did have a look around to see if anyone had recorded it, just in case.
We've had a tweet from Fabrizio, apparently.
Have we?
Yeah. I just want to thank Paul S for that question. I think the answer was Kobel. Kobel is 6'4" from Nash. So yeah.
Thank you,
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him. I don't know if he's any good, but we need a new backup goalkeeper. I don't think Onana will go anywhere. I just want to say Rushmano comes in and say Harry Maguire is very happy with Ruben Amorim. Can you see we have a good structure, a good style of play? The way that he wants us to work is tactically very good. He's a proven winner. So Harry Maguire apparently happy with Ruben Amorim. Who would have thought?
Well, who'd have thought that, Jarvis, eh?
Yeah.
Bless him. Come on, Big H. Come on, Big H.
Stu is always right.
I'm happy for him, man.
Yeah.
I have championed Harry. And Jarvis will know this. So does Johnny K. I've championed Harry Maguire.
Yeah. It's between you and what's his and RP Dan, who's Maguire's biggest fan.
I've always liked Maguire. He's a bit like me, though. He's just cumbersome. I'm quite cumbersome, you see.
Yeah.
Like me.
Man, look, you can't put a guy with that problem in a high line where he's defending against pace. What is that? You
Totally
put him in a back three. Good positional sense, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
So I straight away, when I thought three at the back, I thought England. I thought,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'll report.
Fred the Red is going to report on the goalkeeper tomorrow morning. So guys, remember to go to Fred's channel and give him a subscribe and like and watch the latest news on the goalkeeper, the 6'5" goalkeeper. Well, I think that's the end of Q&A session. So I just want to end with talking to you guys and ask you one question. If you were young again as a footballer, let's say you were 18 and had all the knowledge you have now, what would you have done differently?
What would I have done differently?
Boombaye, you can start.
To make it.
For example.
What do you mean? What do you? Oh, right. Okay.
As a footballer, yeah.
I'll tell you what I would have done. Because I didn't take any particular sport serious. I played multiple sports. I played football. I played cricket. I did running. I did loads of sports. If I could listen to myself again, not necessarily for football, I wish I would have prioritized one sport over everything, dedicated everything to it rather than say, I want to play this, I want to play that. So I'd probably say I would have maybe dedicated myself more to one sport, I guess. So, yeah.
I think I would have honed my position earlier. I was a goal scorer in midfielder for a long time, but I so much prefer centre half. And I wish I'd honed my particular position. I didn't go to centre half till I was 40, 42, something like that. So I think I really enjoy centre half. I like the tussle. I like the aggression. I mean, the centre midfield gives you that thrill and you score goals, but putting yourself up against a 6'4", 6'5" striker, subduing him for a game. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd chosen my position earlier in my career.
Yeah, I'd have done three things. I'd have took it a lot more seriously. I just used to love it so much, and I still do. No matter what's happening, when I step on the pitch, everything is comes on hold. I'm in my zone. I just, So I would have took it a lot more seriously. But I think a lot of these players as well that you hear, like my parents, man, were busy putting food on the table. They didn't have time for football.
Exactly.
But a lot of these guys, mom, dad, traveling an hour, 2 hours, make sure they're there, get this, get that. My dad was like, son, I've got to run a business.
Yeah.
So I would have took it more seriously. I would have done exactly what Stu said. I can play anywhere. That's apart from centre back and apart from goal.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable anywhere on the pitch. No problem. I've played as a striker, scored goals. Played as a left back, attacking left back, and I've played as not a defensive central midfielder, but as an attacking central midfielder. But I would have nailed one position on and become specialised in that. I think that would have helped me really move forward as well if I took it seriously. And I would have paid more attention. They all go hand in hand, these, to my fitness. I'm built similar to Wayne Rooney. That's my build. It's good when it's in shape, but it takes a lot of work to maintain that type of body. Like my friends are very, very, some of them, they don't put any weight on. They're very agile, just naturally high metabolism. So I would have paid more attention to that. All three of those hand in hand, I think, would have put me in much better stead. Yeah. So fitness, man, is key, guys.
Fitness, yeah.
So I'd agree with that because I'm 55 February, Bombay.
Looking good, man.
I keep myself trim.
Yeah.
To do that, so I can still play.
Yeah.
I'm I never bulked up when I was younger. I was always strong, but I never bulked up when I was younger. And it's helped with my knees.
I've never done a weight in my life, Stu. I've never touched a weight in my life.
What you're talking about actually is quite interesting, because when you're a heavier set person, and it's a naturally heavier set person, it can be detrimental to your joints. It really can. So fair play to you, pal, for keeping going.
Well, I'm an avid cyclist, so I go out into the hills.
I love cycling.
I'm lucky where I live, Cheshire. So I see every Sunday guys that are 60s, 70s, and they're part of a cycling group and they're going. And then at our games, I have a really good player, brilliant player. He was when he was younger. He's, I think he's like 50, 56 now. He's called John, Celtic fan, top centre back, class, plays out from the back. Just you can see straight away, the quality is there, the brain is there. And when I see him and when I see these cyclists, I love that, because I feel I've got still time to play. It inspires you, it's not, there's time, you can play, just keep on top of things. And I'm lucky, I never had any breaks, any bad injuries. So I'm, really lucky in that sense. What about you, Joe? Sorry, Stu, go on.
I was just saying, injury-wise, I've been massively lucky.
Yeah.
I broke my arm when I was younger, quite badly. I've done my quad, a couple of ankle injuries, hairline fracture in my shin. But you just get on with those, hairline fracture in the shin, and that. You kind of just get on with it. Ankle injury, you just get on with it. My quad was the one really that gave me the most grief. But I did that, as I say, 4 years ago, and I'm still at it. So my aim is to play at least another 5 years.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
If I can.
Johnny K, what position did you play?
I played several positions, but probably my best position was defence midfield. But I used to play. I could play as a makeshift centre half at times, but I suppose defence midfield was probably my main.
Do you know what, lads? We've got a spine and a half here. We've got Stu Woolley, we've got Johnny K and Jarvis killing it. 2 Kinos in the centre, and then I'm at the tip.
Well, I was like, I modelled my game on like Scholes or Carrick, just passing it to other players so they could, run past it. It wasn't my strength running with balls, so it was just simply passing it to teammates and making sure you were in the right position, kind of thing. So
excellent.
So it was Paul Gascoigne was my first one, my first love.
It was. I was Robbo.
Captain Marvel.
I guess that's where. Yeah, I guess that's where I tried to.
Oh, where's Robbo?
And then Incy, Robbo and Incy, I guess. But Stevie Bruce was a big influence on my career.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see this. It's Robson.
Yeah, the legend. Stevie Bruce was a really big influence.
I mean, unfortunately, I had quite a strong, powerful shot actually when I was younger. But then in my mid-20s, I tore my meniscus, and my knee, my knee wasn't. It wasn't actually playing football, ironically, but it was. And then I lost. I played football for a bit longer, but it wasn't the same. And I lost some of my strikes, so unfortunately, I had to.
Jarvis was a dainty player.
Yeah,
Jarvis was a cheeky little dainty player.
I was. But I have to say, if I could have done anything differently when I was younger, I didn't. I realize now that I didn't understand the game. I didn't understand the game. I was just playing, on pure ability.
That's what you do,
like passing, dribbling, running. And, I was quite athletic. I could run a lot. I did a lot of other sports. So I was always in good physical shape. But I didn't understand the game. I just ran a lot. I ran everywhere, But when I went into my 30s, suddenly everything clicked. I understand the game at a higher level. I started looking around, placing myself in the right positions, and everything clicked. So I wish that I have figured that out at a younger age, because then I think I would have reached at a much higher level.
I think it depends on what position, because certain positions suit maybe now that like defense midfield is perhaps your prime years might be your early to mid 30s. Maybe that might be the best time to be a defense midfielder, depending on what league you're playing. So I think certain positions are suited better for experience more than a younger player, such as playing on the left or something. So it just depends what your position is, I guess, isn't it? So, yeah.
I swear I've enjoyed my football for this last 10 years as much as ever, honestly. And I've started to, like you say, Jarvis, I've dropped back a little bit. I like to see everything in front of me.
Yeah.
And I ghost from defense to midfield to attack. I spend a lot of my time. We do 9-a-side and we play 7-a-side. That's my game now. So 11-a-side, man, I got tired of having to take time off work. People just turning up to break legs. I'm not into that on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
We play 11-a-side by BA still.
Yeah.
In a Super Vets league.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean the game isn't quick. It was very technical.
Yeah, well, and good quality football. It's in the brain, a lot of it. I mean, we play with some tidy players. We get players turning up and stuff to play with us sometimes, like from Wigan. We had Umar Nias came and played with us, Everton guy. We get good quality players and from all over. And South American players come and I'd love to play with them. They're quality players and they want to win, man. They come to win.
Yeah, so we're quite fortunate, Bobby, because we play against a lot of ex-pros.
Top. So the quality of the game can be there, and a lot of it's in the head. And I'm fine. I'm no problem. Hold my own with that. You just play in the head.
I think ultimately it's about knowing what you're good at and what your weaknesses are and adapting to that. So what I was good at, I knew what I was good at. I was good at passing the ball. I was good at positionally. I had good pace, but not rapid pace. I wasn't great at slide tackling, but was good at intercepting the ball kind of thing. So it's about knowing what your game is more than anything and seeing what your other teammates are good at as well. So if you got a super fast winger, I'm not going to be able to do that, but I can pass the ball to them for them to exploit the pullback, for example. Yeah. So that's what you got to bear in mind.
No, I'm itching for a game now with all this talk.
Yeah. But I see a lot of people in the chat that are also coming in with their experience, and Paul S says my experience was all American football, the tactical game, but too rough for a guy like me. I think Stu would have been perfect in
the only game I don't want anything to do with the ball was rugby and PE. I just forget it. I'm not interested, man.
Yeah.
No. And Roshmano, he comes in and says, I loved football. Five-a-side, but
that probably contributed to my meniscus because I played a lot of five-a-side on AstroTurf. That probably contributed to my bad knee. So,
I mean, that's the issue. Back when we were playing, started out, there was only a few types of footy boots really. I mean, I always used to wear the classics, the Copa Mundials and the World Cups, but now I take with me 5 pairs of boots to most matches. So I've got the right studs to make sure my knees are okay, my ankles are okay. It's ridiculous.
Boots are so important. So Copa Mundial or
well, So, to be honest, actually, on the newer 5G stuff, there's the Copa Mundials aren't the best. So you have to wear more of a I don't know what they're called, but basically there's hundreds of very small studs.
Predator.
Almost like an AstroTurf shoe, but it's a football boot, and there are a lot more. So I've got a couple of pairs of those because sometimes we use that type of pitch. So you got to really be careful.
Next time, you bring your shoes, boots, and we have a show.
I'll show you my boots.
Tell us about what's for what. I stumbled across Puma King, and that was it, man. It's just been Puma King.
Superb pair.
Yeah, they just do it, man. The boot for all seasons.
Yeah, no, they're a super. I mean, I literally, I used to be only World Cups and
Copa Mundials top quality boot as well. I must say.
Brilliant boot, absolutely brilliant boot. But now I've got warm up boots, so I use just one pair for warming up. So that 15-20 minutes you go out and you warm up, I use one pair of boots for that, and then I make a decision on what to put my feet.
Yeah.
Ruben comes in and say, "I played so long ago, my position was called outside." And Neil Briscoe, he say he played right winger, center half, sweeper, fullback.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
yeah, good readers of the game.
Yeah,
sweeper.
And he did cross country. Yeah, then you have to have 3 lungs. That's
no, you have to definitely 3 lungs.
And Freddie had the Adidas Predator, black and red, like Beckham.
Fred, well, I've got a pair of accelerators somewhere. I'll have to dig those out. I've had them for years to show you, but I was one of the very first players in Shropshire to have the original '94 Predators. Back in the day, yeah.
The originals, yeah.
The very original ones, yeah, the Craig Johnson Predators, yeah. In fact, we went to a tournament at Manchester United, and I bought them for that.
Nice.
We have a super chat coming in at the end of the show, right before we wrap it up. It's from Paul S. Thank you, Paul S. He says, John Victor is the tall goalkeeper. Thank you, John S. You talking about this for hours. John Victor, okay. We will have a check. Look who is John Victor. Give me a second. John.
There is Jarvis, a connoisseur in the old boots as well. The old Roy Keane Theodora got overlooked, I promise you.
No, they were good boots, man. And I had very good boots. Yeah, they were. I had a pair of old school miters as well. They did me right.
Did they have the 3 studs on the outside at the top?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, they were brilliant. They were.
Do you know the most iconic boot that was kind of like, wow, what is this? I remember the R9s, the first R9s in silver. Yeah. A mate of ours brought them into college. They weighed nothing. I'd never seen a boot so light.
Yeah, I remember those. I tried the Robson Pro New Balance when I was in school. I tried those. My dad bought me the Puma Step Stars as well, which had the orange sole.
Yeah,
and I didn't like any of those, and I stuck on Adidas in the end.
Yeah,
and back
in the 80s, Go on, Joe.
Yeah, I would just say back in the 80s, I have to admit, I had the Ian Rush shin pads.
Whoa, I wouldn't admit that on here.
Rushy, man.
Ian Rush. I don't know if you guys remember that he had some shin pads, at least here in Norway. And Nash, he had the old Bora because of Roy Keane. J United, hello Jarvis, legend. I just sub, mate. I'm very picky nowadays who I sub to, but I always liked you, mate. Thank you, J United. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jarvis, how much did you pay him for that?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Come on,
come on, man.
only me and Jay knows that. So yeah, thank you, Jay. Keep the what do you call it, superlatives coming. Paul S. I just want to go back to the super chat because Paul S. Sent us a paid message, and this is the guy John Victor, and he's a Brazilian footballer. He plays for Botafogo in Brazil. Let's look at his stats.
That was a good advertisement. Got popped 3-0.
3-0, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
He'll probably make an error in his next game now.
Oh dear.
Crikey. He's only valued at 7 million.
Well, he's young. No, he's 28. 28. Portuguese and Brazilian. Right-footed. Brazilian, probably good with his feet. Market value £7 million. Let's see.
YouTube,
do you have any stats?
Yeah.
Yeah. So goal conceded, 41 goals in 51 games this season.
Either this is a mistake, a blag, or this team is terrible and it's not his fault.
Goal conceded what?
41 and
22 clean sheets. 22 clean sheets in 51 games. Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, actually, that's not too bad.
No. Well, we will have a closer look maybe at next Jarvis Corner. It's been a brilliant show. I'm so happy that you all tuned in, and we actually talked the last 20-25 minutes just about regular football stuff, positions and boots and all of that jazz. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a long stream, 2 hours, 40 minutes. Thank you, Johnny K, for tuning in and being a part of this show. Thank you, Umbaye, and my co-host. I feel bad for you, Stu.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna go and sleep now. Again.
Yeah, I think that's for the best. So it's been incredible. Thank you for sticking with us for all this time.
Problem. And, as always, I've loved it. Good to see you, Johnny K. Good to have you on, Bombay. You should come on.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks for having us today, and I thought I'd pop hands. But a great show and a game to savour for the ages. Hey.
Yes, you should both come on more often. Honestly.
Thanks for having us.
AMAD Dialo, not many can say they got a last minute win against City and Liverpool, can they?
Dialo derby. And nice to meet you, Johnny K.
And you too, mate. You too. So,
it's been a brilliant show. Thank you, Paul S, Mr. B, DJ Superfly, Jamie Wayne, Nash, Rush Mano. I haven't seen that name before. Looks like we found a new Man United channel. Thank you, Thank you. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family.
Yes.
Who else? J United, Nash, Lucky Singh, Neil Driscoll, Tyrone. I used to love the Copa Mundial, but I prefer Mizuno.
No. Just before. No, that is somebody who knows football boots then, because the old Mizunos, they're about 300 quid, 250 quid. They are kangaroo leather. And I think he's probably talking about the old made in Japans. He'll have to let us know. But they are a top pair of football boots.
Wow.
Not many people go with Mizuno.
Yeah, I don't know, but we are now on 143 people watching on Twitter and on my channel and Mix channel. So it's good. 10 people watching on Tactical Corner. We are now on 131 subscribers. Wow.
Oh, go over and subscribe.
Nice.
Yeah, the made in Japans. He's got the made in Japans. They are mint boots. They've actually got the stud pattern of the Copa Mundial, by the way. But yeah. And if you do know your boots, guys, look out for Pantaflora. Beautiful Italian leather boots as well.
Neil is old school Adidas for him.
That's all I go for, Mr. Driscoll. But you've got to doff your cap to Mizuno. You do. Not many people buy Mizuno.
Cool. It's been great. Thank you. I think we just have to end the show. It's getting late. I have to go to bed.
Tyrone, good to see you, mate. So.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I need me bed.
Old friend of yours. Okay, thank you everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to Tactical Devils. That's the name. Sorry. And Jarvis's Corner, and I will try to do a build-up show for the Spurs game on Wednesday. So will be the next show on the Tactical Devils, and probably Mick will do a show tomorrow on MUFC Realist TV. So thank you for tuning in, everyone, and see you on the next. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.